BX Toy Cat, and I am live streaming on the internet. What do you know about that? Today, I'm playing some Minecraft. You guys heard of this game? I hear that it's called Minecraft, but there hasn't been a cave update in 9 years, except wait a minute. You know what's happening in the next update? Yeah, we know what's happening. There's gonna be that update that we've all hoped and we've dreamed of. It's great. So, as a part of that, I feel like today, let's have a stream. Let's have like a decompression stream, because during Minecon Live, we couldn't talk about it too much. Let's talk about that a little bit. And it's also, you know, kind of key thing is let's dig a hole under my house. An idea I came up with, I think it was during the, you know, my girlfriend rates my world or criticizes my world video. I mentioned, wouldn't it be cool if underneath my Let's Play house, which right now is a villager basement that doesn't work because villagers don't work this way anymore. They don't use doors anymore. So I just have a lonely villager that can never breed or do anything in my basement. Wouldn't it be cool if I, instead of having a basement like this, had a basement that was just a giant hole in the ground? And it's a really, really dumb idea, but you know, the whole purpose of this channel is really, really dumb ideas that somehow became real. Also, why are there just a few random birch planks here? Like, there's a lot of questions about why and how with all of this, but as we do that, let's hang out, let's chill, let's have a nice little evening, shall we? Because I am still in the United States of America, that's why my audio sounds wacky. And also, I'm, you know, really very, very, very excited, because you know what? It's been a very long time since I've streamed at this time, so we're gonna have like a very different, you know, I'm recognizing some names, which is cool. Good to see you. You know, like even you know, it's fun to recognize some names still, but it's also like a whole different time. It's a whole different audience. It's a whole different vibe, right? Like it's kind of it's interesting that the you know it's kind of like you know, the famous phrase that, like, you know what the difference between, like, I don't know, lingerie and a bikini? They're the same clothes, but the context is everything. It's kind of like, you know what, if you drink coffee at 10 a.m. in the morning, there's one vibe you get from that. Drink coffee at, you know, 5 p.m. in the evening, very different vibe. Coffee at 10 p.m. at night, and whoa, what are you getting up to? Same with, like, I guess you could argue, like, you know, like drinking an alcohol, or if you're like me, a Diet Pepsi. Am I drinking this because I like Diet Pepsi, or am I drinking it because I don't like Diet Pepsi? I'm sorry. It's just worse Pepsi Max. So anyway, this is my basement now with no doors. I want to quickly, real quick, so I guess I should try and center this. So I'm going to work out how big my house is. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks across is the middle of the house. So I have an idea for what to do here. So if I dig 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, and then I dig a little bit of a hole down, I want to do something underneath it, but we'll work that out in a second. Actually, no, let's work it out right now. I think I have some glass in my thing. I want to make dig a giant hole here, but rather than killing a villager, like, putting a villager in your basement is a lot of effort. Like, you're not putting anyone in your basement, a lot of effort, trust me. I have you know, worked this one out the hard way. Boy, do people not like it when you do that. So, given that locking people in your basement is a lot of work, you might, you know, there's no point undoing something like that once you go for all the effort. So what we're doing instead is, by the way, thank you so much for becoming a sponsor on the channel. Wait, I need to lower this little window right here. Thank you so much for sponsoring Headspinner496. Okay, I need to just change this like that. And now, okay, is the stream still working? Okay, wait, no, it's not working correctly. Wait, I'm gonna now raise this up here, and then we're good. Okay, I can now see. Hello, Headspinner. Welcome to the membership club. I'm very pleased to see you here. But yeah, so the plan is, my absolutely genius, cannot fail, cannot be refuted plan, is I'm gonna, right here, place a piece of glass, and then, I guess around it, we can place some more glass, like here, 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 and you know what, let's do it over here as well. Let's go wild. And now we can trap a villager just in a random glass cube in my cave. There's gonna be a giant cave in my basement, and there's going to be a villager right in the center in a little glass cage. It's going to look ridiculous, and it's going to look like I spent a lot of effort doing this, which is my favorite thing to do. People will question why. Maybe he's like a stripper villager. I don't know the answer, but also they might raise the world build height to 512. There's rumors going around on YouTube. So I've heard those rumors too. I've heard you know, there's good reason to think about why, but there hasn't, you know, like, it's not been officially said. Like, it would be a cool feature announcement, but it's one of those things that you shouldn't get your hopes up for, because the amount of, like, you know, stuff that it would take is kind of crazy. Bedrock right now still can't use the full height limit that exists, so asking Bedrock to go not only higher than we are right now, but by a lot, it's a big move, you know, just keep that in mind. I think whenever it comes to a rumor like this, bear in mind the place a rumor usually starts, because the actual, the secrets, when it comes to Minecraft, there aren't leaks in the game because, like everything's kind of behind closed doors. I don't think even Mojang would know if that was the case yet. So yeah, just like when it comes to a rumor like this, just bear in mind it's as good as when I say, hey, I heard that there's gonna like Nam. I was gonna make the cave update thing, but it doesn't work anymore. But yeah, like when you hear certain things, you just gotta know what it really means. Also, I only have 3 torches. I guess we'll just place 2 there, and the other one like on the wall for now. Whatever, it works. And now let's dig down some serious distance. Imagine optimizing Bedrock per platform, says Frozen Smoke. Well, the thing is, they actually want a consistent experience across all the platforms, Mr. Smoke of the Frozen Nature. Would you extend your sugarcane farm to the new height, says Alexander Herr? Oh, that's a really good question. I would. It's a dumb idea, and I shouldn't. I have no reason to, but you better believe I would anyway. Also, I love this idea. Glad you're doing well, and that the stream is looking crisp today. Hey, thank you so much, Emma Swift. I've been like... I don't have to describe what I've...
I love this idea.
Oh, there we go.
Glad you are doing well and that the stream is looking crisp today.
Is the stream going well today? Hey, that's good. So there's a lot of like internet issues that I've been working through. I'm glad I finally got through them. The simplest answer was just like to cut down to 720p. And it's interesting because even though people think like, oh yeah, 1080p better than 720, like 4K better than 1080, being able to do a good 1080p is better than a bad 4K. Like, I could raise countless examples of this, but for now, just say that, I'm glad that it looks good for you, Miss Swift. Also, what was your best day ever, and why, says CJ, that dog kid. My best day ever? It's a hard one to say, because most people will say, like, the day I met my wife, the day my child was born. Such a cliche, by the way. If I say that the best day of my life is the day my child was born, someone punch me in the face. Actually, not the face, the throat. Punch me somewhere that you think I will regret it. So hey, good to see you, Mischievous. I am doing good. Thank you for asking. I love because they're always like messageless super chats. I'm gonna start throwing my own messages on there. That I think that pizza is great. I like thin pizza though. Although I tried for the first time, like, good Chicago-style pizza. Like, I wanted to try, like, good Chicago-style pizza. Because I went to Chicago, and I had, like, very okay. And, I had, like, just a tiny little sausage pizza. And there's, like, a cheese tomato. It's just upside-down pizza. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. But it is tasty. And that's all I'm going for. I don't need no real flavors. I just want tasty. Also, I don't know... I don't know how I'm going to get back out of this. I guess I could probably just dig till I find the ocean and then patch the hole in later. Yeah, that makes sense to me. That makes the most sense to me. So we're going to use, we're going to pull out some torches, because I'm definitely going to need some of those. Probably shouldn't be using these torches, but guess what I'm doing anyway. Pull out, like, 8 of these, and then another, like, 11 of these. Like, why do I have 3 sticks on me? Whatever, it's all happening. It's fine. And now let's craft some torches. We'll leave the shulker box there for... No, I'll pick up the shulker box. I'm going to get better at doing that. And I'm going to dig a little hole over to the oceans. We'll do it from, like, down here. And then we'll hope this works. Will it work? Is a very genuinely good question. Why is there block lag in your world? That implies... So, yeah, do you see this block lag? Like, I'm mining the block and then it's replacing sometimes. So I'm playing on a realm. Presumably my internet... like, either the realm servers are bad, or because I'm streaming... it's affecting the game quality. Let me know if it's pretty annoying, because then I can just download my world offline. Also, finally using my own currency to tip lol. Thank you very much, Rosie Farah. Are you sure you're using your own currency? I don't know if that's true. I don't believe that you are from the UK, Rosie Farah. I don't believe that at all. On the internet, everyone's American. Also, it's like 3 AM in the UK. That's where my suspicions really come from. Okay, so I'm digging for a beach. Why is there sand with... Oh, that's wood on top. Oh, that means I know where I am then. Okay, so we're just gonna keep on digging. Keep on digging. This is a lot more effort than just doing what I probably should have done in the first place, but guess what? I'm sticking with it anyway. And now we can just swim. Okay, I'm just gonna remove this block. Make my life easier too. Now I can swim out every single time, and it'll just save me like a whole hassle. And it won't spawn mobs in because it's lit up. Perfect. But yeah, thank you very much, Rosie Farrah. It's good to see you today. I honestly, it's that it's that thing about the internet, right? On the internet, a week is like a year. So like I took like 5 weeks as like a kind of chill, you know, live my life in Vegas thing. And I feel like coming back, I'm like, hey, you're still here. Like, it's like when you leave the house for a day, your cat remembers you. Leave the house for 5 weeks and you're not. Maybe the cat doesn't remember you. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA, low I used USD. See, it's really interesting because it shows me... Oh, so it's only showing me when someone uses it for Super Chat. Right. My bad. That's, you know, that's a bizarre thing. Also, thank you, Andrew Flame of the West. See, another name I recognize. So yeah, let's try and have like a proper chat. I sometimes like, sometimes these streams are like very, I was about to be like, sometimes I feel like I talk to you too much in these live streams. It's like, the very nature of a live stream on the internet is, of course, my voice is louder than all of yours, because for some reason mine is being recorded. I don't know why that is. That's real weird, huh? Also, so if this is the middle, then 1, 2, 3. That should be like even on both sides. So this is 4 blocks, and then on this side it should be 4 blocks as well. So we're gonna remove this entire wall now. Glad we realized this early on rather than later. But yeah, let's have a real conversation. I mean, not that you can have a real conversation on the internet. I mean, people are just gonna yell at each other anyway. But let's try and avoid that. Yeah, it's so weird. You can see sometimes the blocks break and then like they broke prematurely or something. Pittsburgh, rise up. I guess there is a non-insignificant number of viewers from Pittsburgh. Someone used to watch my stream. I found this fascinating. Like, they were Swedish born and bred, but like moved to Pittsburgh for some reason. And it's like, man, that almost every bizarre combination of places you can live, someone must live at some point, right? Yeah, this is this is bizarre. Let's put a door here to make life a little bit more confusing for myself, because we all know that life is too easy right now. And yeah, I guess if the floor starts there, this must be the end of the house, right? This is underneath the door. So I also have to now dig all of that. And then that means just over here, I'm going to have a random door. So it's like the door to the underground. Everything about this is incredibly confusing. I hope you all stick to the projects. It's going to be fun when we do it. Pittsburgh is nice, but I'm a Philly gal, says Emma Swift. That's still from the same state. That's kind of impressive.
Hype. Been a fan for a while and now just catching a stream. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Jacob Epic, for the £7.76 super chat, which I'm realizing now that's totally $10, right? Honestly, this stream is probably this is probably the most America-friendly stream I've ever done, because, like, if you, like, work during the day or whatever else, it's probably real hard to catch a Toy Cat stream. But today, I have blessed you all with my being busy in the middle of the day. Salmon Gaming, thank you for the £5 super chat. Love your videos, you are a pro. I technically, I always like to do this with people, like, because I find certain words to be fascinating. Like, can pro really describe me? The answer is, like, yes, on, like, a technicality. Like, I am oh god, I've got so many chests filled with things. I am technically a professional in the sense that I get paid to do what I do, because that's the only, I think, definition to require you. Like, if I am an amateur skateboarder, no one pays me to skateboard. If I am a professional skateboarder, someone pays me to skateboard. I wish someone paid me to skate. Actually, I don't wish someone would pay me to skateboard. But yeah, basically, as like, oh Jesus, this is concerning. How did they even spawn in here? It's so light. Whatever, it's weird, but it's fine. Just like all of you, friends. There we go. Called you all out. You like that? You like that? He doesn't hear that he's a pro very often. Mean, man. Mean. Oh, you got a fun name. A name I can't even read out loud. Well, you know what? There you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Cat Likes Lima 2. Toy Cat, you woke me up at 3:33 a.m. Honestly, the fact that you're here, despite being woken up at 3:33 a.m., let's give you a clap for that. 2 claps for that. Also, thank you very much, Jim Jam Giroux, for the Toy Cat tax. Do appreciate it. How are you doing in this fine morning that is not a morning for you because you're in the United States of America, unlike Cat Like Lima 2. But yeah, I want to just have a real chat and be like, what do you think about YouTube Stories? Says John Martinez in the chat on YouTube. Oh, I should start streaming. I want to start streaming on Twitch, not because I want to start streaming on Twitch. Just to clarify, a thing I'm going to be doing soon. I want to stream on Twitch just so if, like, people can give me their Amazon Prime thing. Because honestly, like, I have an Amazon Prime thing. I wish I had a YouTuber I liked that was on Twitch I could support. There's probably someone, but, like, I think it'd be cool if you could support the stream of Amazon Prime without me actually having to stream on Twitch. I wonder if that's okay. Probably not, but let's find out by doing it. So I'm gonna become an affiliate, I think.
Are you going down to Bedrock? Also my first toy cat tax.
What do you reckon, chat? Should we go down to Bedrock? Okay, so this is real weird. I think I went a block too far on this end. Oh no, there's just dirt instead of wood there. You know, it's fine. I've gone the right distance. I think all the way down to Bedrock might be too far, but we'll work it out as we go. Also, thank you very much, Salmon Gaming. What a fun name. Go to Bedrock. You know, chat wants me to go to Bedrock. At the very least, I should go to my mine. I don't think... Like, we'll go to Bedrock somewhere, but I think we should, at the very least, go to, like, where the mine is at, you know? It's 8 AM in India. I never catch one of your streams because of our time zone. It's good to watch you in the morning. Happy morning. I missed your name. Happy morning anyway. Good morning is how people usually say that. But those people are squares. You ever consider you shouldn't trust their advice? Yeah, you think about that? Yeah, I think about that. Y17 for the cave update. I like that, Emma Swift. I like that. Go one block over Bedrock. I mean, technically speaking, you can never go fully to Bedrock because it's, like, variant, and I kind of want a flat bottom to this. Also, I think if I'm going to have, like, a giant house under here, I'm going to need to dig this bigger than it is right now. Because this is, like, okay, this is fine, this is fun. I think I want to have, like, back here, or I guess it'd be facing the other way, so if I mine down there, if I climb down here, facing this way, I'd have a giant house. Again, we can work these details out. For now, let's just dig down, make this cave, see if things are great as we go. So, don't go to Bedrock. I dug a whole chunk. It wasn't great. I only got like 12 diamonds. Oh yeah, this is definitely not like an exercise in trying to find ore. Like, I'm getting a lot of stone from this and not a lot else. But we'll work it out as we go, you know. Also, thank you very much, Cracked Mangent for the New Zealand 20. That is, you know, 20 in any currency is a lot, right? Like, there are very few currencies besides like the rupiah in Indonesia where like 20 is, you know, like 20 is a nice amount. And thank you very much for the New Zealand dollars. Or, oh wait, in New Zealand all the vowels are shifted, so it's like New Zealand dollars. Wait. Okay, so new becomes noi. No wait, new becomes... I don't know the vowels. New would become noi, like N-U-W, but I can't do that. Whatever, you know, words become words, and life is complex. Oh, geez, that was weird. The Bad Llama, another prediction came true. I remember when you started advocating for a cave update. Hope all is well in America. P.S. Bring back the jet ski fund. I think I'm going to be jet skiing this month, actually. The thing about the jet ski fund is, like, it started as a joke that got out of control, and then people genuinely felt like I was ripping them off, like, oh, Toycat, why aren't you doing this thing? And I was like, oh, I was just trying to signal that I'm not trying to make you feel bad to tip me. Like, unlike certain streamers who'll be like, hey, guess the cats can't eat this month unless you guys start tipping. Like, I see streamers I follow have, like, breakdowns on Twitter that they're not earning enough. And it's like, maybe that's a good business strategy. They're going to make a lot of money with that. But I always want to be clear, like, hey, this is fun money. I will buy $77 steaks. You know, again, this is how I like to say it. The things you agree with least, I will start doing. Do you hate global warming? I'm going to start a bonfire. Do you like global warming? Guess what? I'm going to throw ice cubes in the ocean. I'm going to spend, you got to imagine whatever you dislike, I'm going to be spending my money on. And if you're good with that, then we can talk, you know. Speaking of then we can talk, man, my inventory, I need to just, like, clear it out. It is such a mess. Also, hey, Mr. Cat, do you eat cat food? I've always wanted to eat cat biscuits, like dry cat food, I guess. Wet cat food makes me physically sick when I look at it, though. We should do that for, like, a video forfeit. Like, you know, if I'm wrong about XYZ, I'll eat some cat food. Oh, no. Oh. We can work that one out, maybe. You know, maybe we can tone that one down or something. So, Cat, please start New World when the Caves and Cliff comes out. I always start new worlds for, like, certain things. Like, for hardcore, I will start a new world. The thing is, if I start a new world, then the world will be temporary. Which is fine to some people, I'm sure. But, like, it's just the kind of, the trade-off that is there. Like, if I, if you want me to play thousands of hours in a world, it has to be my Let's Play world. I don't want to put thousands of hours into multiple worlds when I've already got thousands of hours here? Is that sounding reasonable? Everyone understanding me? Okay, everyone's understanding me. I have a bunch of ladders in a chest on the other side of my world, so we're gonna go get that because I want those ladders because it's real annoying just having to fall down because it's getting a bigger and bigger fall each time. But yeah, let's go other side of the world. Let's do this. IBX Toy Cat, will you have to travel very far in your world to experience the cave update stuff? It says, is a loser. Yeah, you're totally right. That is a very real concern I'm facing with. Also, Wyvern New World Mob kind of looks like Shrek. So glad to finally have Shrek in Minecraft. So many people have said that. I don't see it, but like, you know, if that's what you see, then I see you too. Wait, I see it too. I don't really see it. Like, it's a very common thought though, so like, I'm clearly the crazy one. You know, one of the things, this is like a fun like topic of debate, right? Are you correct? Are there correct opinions and incorrect opinions? Or are there just opinions that are held by more people? What do you think, chat? Are there correct opinions and incorrect opinions? Or are there just popular opinions and unpopular opinions? I wanna know what you think about that one. Because I'm looking in chat, by the way, so type it in chat if you want to, and I'll find you. Or like I'll use it as a poll basically. All of my opinions are correct, says Hey Sagon. Well, you nailed it. Isn't this an opinion? See, the funny thing is if everyone says that popular opinions are correct, I can be like, nah, you're all wrong. They're only correct opinions. There is no such thing as a correct opinion. There's only popular and unpopular. Are opinions even real? See, right? I guess I'm saying opinions. Like everyone's taught that opinions are like subjective, right? Hopefully. If you haven't, then hopefully this isn't your first time, but if it is, then boy, do you have a lot to go through. Let's put some sand and some sandstone in the chest. As well as some coal ore in the ore chest. I think I have an ore chest somewhere around here. Is this the ore chest? This is not the ore chest. Ore chest, ore chest. Throw the coal in there, as well as the dirt for now, just to keep it away from me. And then let's pick up some ladders, just to keep things simple. Yeah, unpopular opinion, everyone's saying popular and unpopular, right? But like if someone says to you, like, oh yeah, I believe that humans are descended from marsupials, they're incorrect, right? And the reason you say they're incorrect is because, no, you've switched into the realm of fact. And that's where the tricky thing is. If everyone agrees, oh wait, okay, so I have ladders around here somewhere, but I don't know where they are. Chat, does anyone know where my ladders are? Ladders, 64. I don't know if I need 64 of them, but always better to have more than less, I guess. Hey Toycat, haven't watched your videos in a while, so what's going on? Could you please recap? 1.17 is a cave update. That's the important thing. That's the only thing you need to know. Everything else that's happened has been a stepping stone between here and the cave update. Sorry, what is this COVID? I guess that, the only thing that happened in 2020 started, everything was fine, and then the cave update was announced. Tell me that there is anything else, and I will tell you you're a liar. Also, thank you, Donald J. Trump. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for the £2.33. I would love to be a celebrity and like tip streamers and have them all be like, yeah, I'm sure that really is you, Mr. I don't know, Donald Glover, Mr. Danny Glover. Opinions are not facts, says Michael Mosher. See, everyone's saying like there's a clear distinction between the two of them. But also, first token attacks. What are you most excited for and least excited for? The cave update? Love your videos, by the way. But there's one of the things that like it's really hard to even describe, and I'm not going to do a good job here. But there's this blurred line between where a fact ends and where an opinion starts. We can all agree 2 + 2 is 4 under the current rules of mathematics. We can all agree that I like cheesecake is an opinion. So facts and opinions. You can work out the extremes on both ends, right? You can work out where opinion has clearly, you can work out when it's the extreme version of both. But what about like when you start to mix the two of them? Like, I don't know. Here's an opinion that seems really correct. Also, super chat, rather late in the UK, says Kresnik. It is very late in the UK. Glad I'm not British right now. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm in America, so I'm going to be sleeping in about 3 hours. I did some hiking today. I usually live stream about 1. But I wanted to like do it nice and early. Because you know what? The world gets... You don't want to go walking somewhere at night, because I just feel... Something about nighttime and nature is terrifying to me. Like people who go camping and like campfires. I don't know. Maybe I'm right. Maybe they're right. Maybe we're all right. Wait, is it an opinion that camping at that nature is scarier at night? Is it? Like it's true that people believe that it is scarier at night, but does that mean that it's scarier at night? Minecraft needs a cave update. Is that an opinion or a fact? Again, they seem at first like they're one, and really it's kind of the other one. Here's another one. Has Minecraft ever had a cave update before? Depends on what you mean by cave update, doesn't it? But the really insidious thing. Also, wanted to say hi, playing in my Minecraft world. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Blocker Clang. So something I'm going to set up, I want to keep you all in because the noise scares me sometimes, is we're going to set up the minimum super chat for a noise is $5, so just keep that in mind for the future. Because like sometimes you get people that are like regularly doing like the bare, like 99 cents or whatever it is, just over and over again, being like, hey, I just want to guarantee you respond to this thing, because I can guilt you if you don't. And it's like, I don't know if that's so great. Nature is scary at night is a fact because vampires and werewolves are nocturnal. But vampires and werewolves are a part of human fiction. I know you're joking and you're like, I get you, don't worry. Like, I'm not, I understand that you're making a humor. You're doing it well, don't worry. But, the real question is, wait, let's make sure we get this right. The real question about it is, are the fictions that we believe part of the facts? It is a widespread fiction. Hey Cat, finally quit you live. Did you notice the torches in the offhand being placeable? One of the many simple improvements I'm looking forward to. Okay, so this is a tragedy. I'm sorry, Fanblade Noise. I love you for your £11.05 super. Oh, it's gonna sex speech.
Hey Cat, finally caught you live. Did you notice the torches in the offhand being placeable? One of the many simple improvements I'm looking forward to, tongue.
Looking forward to, tongue. So first of all, appreciate that. I did notice it, but all of the 1.17 stuff they showed off was on Java, so it's such a tragedy. Like right now you can't even put torches in the offhand, right? Nope, you literally can't do it. Which is, I think, I get why they're doing it to stop people being confused, but I also feel like, what if I want to store stuff there? But yeah, it was Java, so until the combat update comes, you won't be able to do that. Hopefully 1.17 is a combat update. There's a lot of things to look forward to in that. So that's the whole thing. Since everyone experiences the time flow differently at any given moment, does that make time an opinion? See, right, when you say something is happening soon, that is an opinion, even though, like, what is happening soon? The sun will set soon. We're all going to die soon, soon. We will all die one day is like, even that is not a fact. It's a very well-backed opinion, right? I don't know. It's so annoying you can't hold items off in your offhand on Bedrock. Yeah, I get why they're not doing it, because they want to have a consistent system across both, but it's also just like, come on, can you just give us that? Can we just have the one thing, please, friends? And the answer is no, we can't have the one thing. So yeah, I guess we'll go all the way down to, not Bedrock. I think, honestly, this is kind of low enough. If we, dig that bigger left and right. We'll just go deep. We'll go lower. I want it to be, a real big climb down before the big reveal. So we'll do that. That's fine. So also, thank you, Trotsky. I love your content. I like to listen to long videos and listen to while doing chores. I did your thing of destroying a bastion. It was fun. Man, you actually destroyed a bastion? That's incredible, Trotsky. Like, the hours that it takes. But the reward is really great. I have so much blackstone in my world that I intend to recycle at some point. But a part of me is like, what if I don't recycle it? What if I just keep this stuff? And now I have all the blackstone I ever need. It's kind of cool. It's like right now, I'm digging a hole in the ground, but I'm getting a bunch of stone and dirt, so I can make stone bricks, or I can cover a forest in stone, or whatever dumb thing I want to do, But yeah, I kind of like that personally. Is this a death pit for disobedient villagers? I do already have a death pit for disobedient villagers, which is probably concerning that your joke is a real thing in my world. But again, we'll let that slide for now. So we're gonna go significantly down with this. We're gonna make like a little staircase that heads down a bunch, so we can keep getting out of this. Oh, we don't even need this anymore because I just brought ladders. This is entirely worthless now. Well, you know, I'll keep it anyway as a secret entrance that I'm going to close off, actually. You know, I'll just keep it as a little Easter egg for anyone who downloads the map. I badly want to destroy Bastion. They make me claustrophobic anyway. The maze is inside. Yeah, I don't like Bastions hugely. Like, there are certain types of Bastions I like, but there's like 2 types of Bastions that make me just go, ugh, you again. That's the kind of downside about having variants of a thing, that you can have bad and good variants. Like, imagine if we had 4 variants of the Jungle Temple. One of them would probably be great, but then you'd be so sad when you got the other 3. So that's an interesting thing to realize, that the more choice you have, the more sad you are when you don't get your choice. One of the things I love about America is everything comes in a trillion flavors. In the UK, generally you get like 3 flavors. Like, I don't know, Ben & Jerry's, for instance, comes in like, 5 flavors. If you go to a big supermarket, maybe you find some more. If you go to a small supermarket, it's like 1 or 2. When you're in American supermarkets, there could be 40 flavors of Ben & Jerry's. I cannot tell you precisely the number of flavors, but it's a lot. There are many options you have as far as ice cream goes. Man, my screen lags very slightly every single time one of those messages comes in. I'm gonna quickly just see if that's on me. Thank you very much, Cracked Magnet. Thank you. Until you read my name out loud, I didn't realize I had a typo in it for years. Cracked Magnet. Did I say it wrong? Cracked Magnet. Cracked Magnet. I don't see it. You know, I wanted to believe. 69 flavors. Haha! The Smug Yosh. That's funny because 69 is a sex, and you said it even though we're talking about something that is not sex. Guys, if you wanna find humor, we've got our guy. But they didn't fix that. What do you think? Do you know when the snapshots release? I think the snapshots are gonna be probably next year. I'd like it to be this. Like, we've got all of November to potentially get them. But I think like there's a lot of stuff they're gonna be doing internally. I think the cool thing about snapshots is as soon as snapshots start coming out, they start like every week hauling ass, like making stuff happen. Whereas it's hard to tell what happens in the weeks where there aren't snapshots. Like, clearly they worked on this cave update for a while, but between those cave update things and it first coming out, what are they gonna do? It's hard to be sure. Flavors, all of the flavors, yum. I didn't know about UK as I've lived in Utah my entire life and yet to travel outside the country. 66% of Americans have never left America, and I still think it's wild, but given how huge and diverse America is, it's like, let's put it this way, actually. One of the things people don't like about America is it has it's one of the more restrictive immigration policies in the world. Maybe it's like second to Australia. I couldn't compare them because I don't know about all the different situations. But, like, it seems like, wow, isn't that crazy that there's so much effort getting out there? And it's like, well, because, like, one of the craziest things is that if you live in any of the 50 United States, 50 effectively their own countries, there's a common president and there are common federal laws and there's a common, but like, military and all that stuff. But like, as far as the rules and the things that actually affect people's life the most, it varies state by state. 50 different combinations of states can all move to each other, and with very little paperwork, you can just start living there. Having a job there, paying your taxes there, all the adult things. And I think that's kind of wacky. Like, I see so many license plates. I'm in Nevada. I'm in a building right now. I walked past an Ohio plate, a Pennsylvania plate, like a California plate. It's like people move from all these places because Vegas is a big like hub for that happening in America. And it's like, man, it's the fact that when I first came to America, I went to Boston, and then New York. I've been to New Jersey, I visited California for Minecon, and then I've been like through Minnesota for that one event that one time. Like, they all feel like different countries. There's a clear unifying factor. There's the dollar. Everyone here's got a American attitude, as best I can describe it. Although what that means varies by state. But it's so wildly different. And the fact the USA is essentially the EU, but one country. Yeah, the USA is the EU if they deliberately... Because the USA was built to be a confederation like the EU, where... the United States of America... This is dumb that you have to say this, but it doesn't resonate with me until I say it like 5 times. is meant to be a country that only exists to unite the state. You know, like when there are things that the states can do better together than they can individually. It's like, you know, it's like their housemates. The United States was meant to be a thing. You know, so people could flat share, like, oh yeah, let's make sure we pay the utility bills together. Let's make sure that we buy some furniture together. You know, I want to have a nice living room. And then, like, over the last 250 years, the 13 housemates became 50 housemates. You know, they started inviting people to move in. They started buying things collectively. You know, they started going 1/50th each on some land. Thank you. I'm really hoping the depth limit is increased. I would love to see it, but I don't think it's likely. Also, I think bundles are very powerful. But, okay. Also, Ramen Catliff says you should do a live stream on your second channel where you attempt to name every single sovereign nation. I wanted to do that for a while. I feel like I might have done that in a video. But yeah, it'd be a fun live stream. See how many I can name. Finally, a foreign who understands what the US is all about. It's really bizarre though because it's been more than a rough day, but thank you for streaming and making it a little bit better. You know what? I can't guarantee I'll see it, but tell me about your problems, Kylie, and I'll tell you not solutions to them, but instead I'll give you solutions to entirely different problems that sound like they're related but aren't. Also, there's a cave underneath my house. Did you guys know about this?
Get rid of one snack category forever. Chips / candy / cookies, etc.
I love this question. We went on such a serious tangent into America, and now we're stepping back out for snacks. Okay, so this is important. I'll agree. Yum bagels. This is the questions they should ask the presidential candidates. Why do I not know Donald J. Trump's opinions on bagels? Why do I not know, if Joe Biden would like chips or candy more? These are the things that might affect my vote that I don't have because I'm not an American. To kind of dive back into what I was saying. As far as what would I like to get rid of, if I had to, honestly, I guess it would be chips, because potato crisps, that is. I call them crisps, Americans call them chips because they don't know what chips are. It's fine, you know, I understand. It's hard being a real human. But I would say probably crisps, because cookies bring me so much joy. So does, like, you know, yeah, I think it'd have to be crisps. Like, the other two categories just have too much at stake. A hot, fresh cookie with some ice cream on, there is no better joy in the universe. Also, the USA isn't the EU because we have no Second Amendment. 2A, we have Second Amendment. EU does not have the same culture of self-defense. I don't think self-defense is most of American culture. The vast majority of Americans, whether you like this or not, are not hugely interested in defense. You know, like, let's put it this: I don't think the majority of Americans own guns, for instance, which is like, you can defend yourself without guns, but like the fact that that's not a thing. Like, there's more guns than people in America, but that's because people own several guns. Like, it's like a hobby. You can't call a hobby the defining nature of a country. Like, lots of people in Switzerland ski, but you wouldn't define that country by the skiing. You might define it by the mountains, because there's lots of other things that happen with them, but it would be misguided in my... Oh, I need to find a place for this stone. Where are the shulker boxes at? Okay, right over here. Let's take one out, and let's fill it with some stone. It's gonna be nice. It'd be a little bit misguided, right? I think, at least. So, I've been interested in someone for a while, but I can't imagine they feel the same way for me. Okay, so here's the thing, Kylie. Odds are that if you just take a random human being, they're probably not attracted to you. But even a random stranger, right? A random... Like, if you take, Jacob Rapala right here, who says fries are chips in the UK, tiny chance that if he got to know you, he would be interested in you too. You know, what I'm really saying is you and Jacob, whatever, let's not do this. Let's not matchmake. Anyway, so, random human beings, tiny chance of liking it. If someone's, like, been in your universe, been in your orbit for a while, they probably like you some amount. You gotta, like, find out, you know? I guess as a girl, it's, like... a bit different. I'm assuming that's what you are. But I guess it's a bit different because, like, the moveset is different. But you can just ask and, you know, like, make it clear that, be like, hey, I am interested in you. What do you feel? Or even if you're, like, worried about that, just be like, hey, I'm interested in you. would you like to do something about it? Perhaps we could grab a drink together, a beverage, and then if they say no, be like, haha, just kidding. That's the worst advice, but I give it all the time. Like, it's the easiest, like, if you're, like, nervous about it, you're like, oh no, I'm really worried. Just be ready to say, haha, just kidding at any moment. The first time I was, like, 13, I told a girl, I liked a girl, I don't know why I said this, but I was like, I just said I love you randomly.
What slot in your hotbar do you put your sword? I know you're not great at inventory management, but in an ideal world.
Sword and pickaxe always next to each other. Pickaxe to me always goes at the end, so I guess it would go second or third, depending on whether you have an item on the left of both of those. Yeah, I'd probably go torch, pickaxe, and then sword with the first 3 slots in an ideal world. You know what, let's make the ideal world. Right now, I am making the world slightly closer to ideal. You are all welcome. Offer a kiss. If she says no, give her a Hershey kiss and act like she's crazy. See, Chloe748, you get it. That's the worst advice. You're gonna ruin a lot of people this way. But this is what you do. This is how you do it, friends. $2 for a cave update. Whoop whoop. I am so excited. I genuinely am worried I'm too excited. We've got a whole year for it to become expected, and then to be like, it's cave, it's whatever. But I am worried, you know, like I'm worried, like I'll play the snapshots. Or there's so much excitement. There is so much that can go right that I'm worried about what can go wrong. Maybe that's a flaw in my own thinking. Maybe I should address that too. But anyway, thank you very much, Isaluza. It's good to see you. I always find it fun to spot you right here. And we did so today as well. Or did I spot you? Or am I just pretending? You know, it's dumb that like your name just being a pun on Isabel, but Isaluza is something that I like to this day. But it's high quality. Anyway, with that said, flick out your sword. Oh! I was just doing that to troll you all. Haha, I'm funny. I don't know how I even did that. I didn't notice it. If it weren't for chat, I'd like 2 minutes later be like, did I throw away my sword? Anyway, you know what? But yeah, so to kind of go back to the UK America thing, like it's like 13 housemates that moved in together, and now it's like a country.
Everything is well. Finally caught a stream from after you moved to America. Still not sure why. I think the American project is over. What do you think? We may need to head for China. Also, Steve SV.
Oh, Steve Smash Bros. Okay, Steve and Smash is cool. I don't play Smash, but I kind of want to. My favorite thing is what happens when Kirby swallows Steve. Personally, that's a whole thing I'd like to see. And then I'd like to say next that oh yeah, I just wanted to say, so the American project. I don't, you know, like the idea is very bizarre because America has to effectively, you know, if you think, okay, let's put it this way. A lot of people are now, I think now for like one of the first times, like there's 300 million Americans, and the majority of those people were born in America, right? That's vaguely a fact. And when a country is a settler nation of people moving from overseas trying to make it, it's always going to be different. And two things have happened at the same time. Not only are people now starting to be born inside of the United States of America, but the United States of America is becoming more of a country and less a collection of states. Like, over time, federalization only ever increases. It's very hard to decrease it. You never want to give power to people that aren't you. People who are elected to the US Congress are elected to have power over all of America. Why would they ever, you know, give that up, right? The answer is they wouldn't give that up, and that's a whole thing. And so as a result, America is becoming more like a country and less like a combination of countries. And also, people are starting to be born in this. And when that starts to happen, I would argue these are mildly adverse effects, but in reality, they're just effects. Whether they're good or bad is an opinion, it's not a fact. But what starts to happen as a result is therefore, now people are starting to wonder, like, why is it, you know, that we don't guarantee X, Y, Z? You know, why can people, you know, like, there's a lot of questions. Okay, you know, for instance, if you're not in a job, should you get paid, you know, unemployment benefits or whatever? In like Europe, it's a long-standing thing of like, oh yeah, you don't have a job, we'll cover you till you get your next one. Whereas if you're in a culture that's based on people moving here specifically for the job, it's like, well, of course you should have a job. That's your key point of value, right? That's what you do. That's why you moved here. Because the biggest thing that gets people to move anywhere if it's not friends and family, it's a job, right? And so if you have a country of people that moved for a job, they value those jobs in a very serious way. And when people value their jobs in a serious way, it affects everything about the culture, right? When you have a country that is so unfocused about jobs, like jobs are your secondary nature, you're gonna get a whole different thing. And if you are born in America, you might question, why should a job define you? You didn't choose that. You were just born in a place. You probably value, if you're born in America, like statistically, a lot of people watching here are. It's like, why should I work 40 hours a week plus an extra 20 just to...
Have dived the depths of the nether, walked the paths of the end, conquered the underworld maze, and at the end realized you are Gladys from Portal. You are truly evil. 5 stars.
I had a lot of fun making the map and just being very sarcastic with people. I thought no one would see those things. I started to put them in because I was just like, there's no more map design I can do, but I can just leave little sarcastic comments. So thank you for enjoying the map, Fox 1008. Thank you for supporting it. People rate it's now like rated 4.7 stars or something. Blows my mind that many people have rated it 5 stars. So thank you to everyone. But no, yeah, it's like people have the question of like, why should I work 40 hours a week just to get by? That seems that hurts like on a fundamental level. And because again, if you don't like your work, if you don't think it, because it's a very bizarre world that like is effectively being switched on you as you're there. And because like I think I said this before, I like being born in the UK probably more. Like I would have liked having a childhood here, but it'd be so much worse me as an individual. Whereas I like kind of seeing it from an outside perspective, and I like having access to whatever I want to do. But like being, if you're born here and like certain things are like, oh yeah, just sucks to suck, doesn't it? Whereas there's a certain expectation of like, okay, you have a certain thing, like what's an example? Something I love that Americans hate is school uniform, for instance. I would have hated beyond belief having to wear my own clothes to school because that's just a way to out, the poor kids or whatever. People had no, like. In like high school, I guess in the UK, people start to notice that your parents don't have money if they don't. But like before that, a guy once told me like, oh yeah, I get free school meals, and I was like, what's the deal with that? And he's like, oh yeah, my parents make it below a certain amount, so they just give me the free meals. And it's like, that's interesting. So they just get, and like the fact that you don't know about that stuff otherwise, because it's all the same system. Whereas in America, they make it very, all that stuff can show very clearly because your parents work hard, air quotes, or like they value their wealth a lot and they want to show it off in their kids. And when their kids value a thing, if you value your work and you value your money, and that's like if you spend 18 hours a week working for something, or even if it's 60 or something, and you really value your socioeconomic status, and then you have children, why would you not want to give those children the benefit of your wealth? And so like, oh yeah, you buy them nice clothes, you buy them nice everything else, and then but then what that really does is it shows the wealth disparity at school, and then that can cause a whole range of effects we could dive into. Also, you never realized that aspect of it is a loser. I think it's fascinating. Frozen Smoke says uniforms are expensive. Checkmate, lol. Maybe it's just me, but uniforms were never crazy expensive. I want to say like £20 for the set. Like then I feel like it was £20 for the set, maybe. Or maybe it was like 30, but it was like 20 or 30 pounds, like $40 or something. And then then you could wear like, because the jumper was the expensive bit, but then, and maybe the trousers were too. But then I just had like 5 t-shirts or 5 polo shirts or something. Even if it's $80 uniforms, right? And you're like, oh, that's so expensive. It's like, that's what you wear the majority of the year. How many days a year do you spend in school? 180, 190. Like it's expensive, but it's like, it's because it's like required or not. This is like do or die. It's like everyone has it. You can if you really really wanted to, if you have literally broke people, you could like have a thing. Anyway, I'm not here to debate whether school uniforms good or not. I just said like I'm so glad. I hated days where people could bring in their own clothes because like what I don't I don't like any clothing that I own enough to like stand by it as the thing I wear for one day a year. This clothing is so special. Like I don't know. What I did, like, I remember once, so it's called mufti in the UK. I don't know why it's called mufti. Is that a thing? Hey Google, what is mufti?
Here's the definition. Mufti. A Muslim legal expert who is empowered to give rulings on religious matters.
Okay, that's not the one. But secure uniforms don't allow people to express themselves in a unique and individual way. Also, did not read the previous super chat, but it was less than 5. Oh, sorry, WebSock. The sword has to go on slot 1 or 2, and then we'll put fairways beta. Yeah, I'm excited about 1.17 too, man. But yeah, it's even that, if you think about it, the fact that school uniform is prevalent here, it's Mufti in New Zealand. Hey, cracked magnet. Also good to see you, Lunacan. But I didn't realize it was Mufti. I guess it's an England, like it's a Commonwealth thing, because no Americans heard of it, and I just searched Mufti, and the Muslim legal expert came up, so I don't know what to think anymore. Also, isn't this Cape beautiful? Oh, it's Mufti in Australia, according to Claudia Stone Stacy. Yeah, the pressure picking outfit wasn't intense. Oh, so what I just did is I was like, oh, sorry, I forgot it was Mufti. My bad. And then you didn't have to pay. Like, it was just like, you know, why? I don't like any of my clothing enough to show the whole world this is the thing I wear for the one day a year I'm allowed to pick my own clothing. It's like, nope. You know, like, it's a very, when you think about it though, that's like a very culture difference of like, if you express yourself, even as a 10-year-old, you get to express yourself via your clothing, whereas in the UK, you know, we're all conforming to the same standard. You could probably get a fancier polo shirt, or you could bring a fancier pen to school. You know, there's slight layers you can customize, but otherwise it's the whole thing. Every time you talk to your Google Home, mine responds too. Isn't Google Home set up to only respond to your voice? I know that the way it works for me. Well, that's a huge hole, says Lunacan. You know, what are you saying about my hole? Are you saying it's too big? Are you saying it's like throwing an ocelot down a hallway? Because I'm very offended. I'd like a deeply felt apology for that. So Kat, can you acknowledge about Pleasant, please? Says Aidan Walker. If you you said you need friends. If you're not having a parent, like having a YouTuber recognize your name once, I don't think it's the same as having a friend. I think if you want to I think the best thing to do would not be to live stream, you know, like whatever, but instead to be like, you know, let's hang out on a forum, you know, like the Reddits, the Discords, the whatever else, and just like send someone a private message, become friends with them that way. Because if you're, you know, like I'm saying hello to you right now, but beyond this, you know, I'm going to respond right next to Chloe748. Your hole is not big enough. Wow, my hole isn't big enough for you? You want my hole to be bigger? Well, you're not just for you. I'm going to make it so big. How you like that? But yeah, how hard was the citizenship? I'm not a US citizen, by the way. I'm not even a resident right now. I've been seriously looking into it, becoming a US resident, because there are a lot of downsides and upsides. I could talk about them in a video for anyone else who's like curious, but like I'm in a very unique situation in that I don't want to talk about it. I'm in a very unique situation in that it's slightly less painful, so I only have to consider like tax and logistics rather than tax, logistics, and if it's even feasible. Like I have to pay a lawyer a lot of money to file some paperwork for me, and then I have to hope that America thinks I'm notable enough, but I can theoretically become a resident here. But if you become an American resident, there's a lot of downsides. Like I couldn't... Actually, no, can I talk about this real quick? I love America a lot. I think I'd love to live here on a semi-permanent basis. But if you... Here's the craziest thing. Again, here is a benefit, but there's also a downside. If you live in America, you don't realize, as a non-American, I can become a resident here, right? I can earn the right to live in America, but if I leave America and I can't prove it was temporary, and they will ask proof, and it's down to the discretion of just a guy gets to decide whether I legally get to come home to my house every single time I leave the country. And if it's deemed that you weren't just visiting somewhere, I can't live anywhere, even temporarily, without extenuating reasons. Every single time I leave, the question will be, why did you leave? How long did you leave, etc., etc. It's a whole thing, is what I'm trying to say. And as a result of that, it's like, man, it's like a big commitment, you know? I am committing to.
Eileen Rain.
See, it doesn't work for me because it's because my phone is set up to only my phone will only play to my voice. You can test it some more if you really want to. Just admit the US is better than the UK. See, but that's the thing. I thought about this a lot. So there are a lot of benefits, a lot of downside moving to America. Like I've been enjoying. I've been living a good life here. I've been getting very fat, but I've been living a very, very good life besides the tubbiness. Also, congratulations, the Ender on a boyfriend. Actually, wait. Here's a thing I just realized. If you have like a direct question for me, you can use @IBXToyCat, and then it highlights it for me, so I know that you're not someone being like, "Hi," says Spencer Levine. You know, that's nice, but it's not like a hi to me. Maybe it is a me. You know, hello, Spencer Levine. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing great. American here, UK is greater than the US. See, but it's all based on what you want, right? Like I have an American spouse who really likes the UK a lot more. Like for her needs and requirements, the UK is of course better. You know, my assistant is American. She likes the UK a lot, but she seems to prefer living in America. Or at the very least, here's the thing, right? Even if you prefer one country very slightly to the other one, the big question, this is one of society's big problems we need to fix. If you, okay, @IBXToyCat, sex as in Fleck, @IBXToyCat, trans lives matter. I would be inclined to agree, I think, maybe. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that human being life matters. Are you guys on board with that? @IBXToyCat said something about a green card. I missed it. I want to read it. If you said something about a green card in your first 3 seconds and then you had a sad face, repeat your message because I can't find it. So, @IBXToyCat, how much did you hate? Okay, well, I'm going to find some good ones. @IBXToyCat, this was a mistake. Everything is highlighted. My life is orange. My life is orange now. Okay, so, yeah, there's an interesting thing that one of the big problems we need to, like, solve as a species is even if you think somewhere is better for you personally, a lot of people watch my videos and they're like, oh, I love this British chap from the UK. I'd love to move there. Not only is it hard to move there on a legal level, but, you know, that's kind of required because of how borders and... You know, we put ourselves into tribes that we call countries, and to move between tribes has to be tricky, or people do it all the time, and it would cause XYZ issue. People want a certain amount of stability in their tribe, sure. So if you say it that way, right? Then it's like, okay, so if you want to move there, we ignore the legal issues. Any place that you want to go, any other country, even another state or city, you lose access to your family. In America, people are just, the way people get over this is they're like, oh yeah, I'll just drive 8 hours to see my mother and then 8 hours home. People genuinely do that and it blows my mind. Driving even like, you know, a couple of hours seems stressful to me, but whatever. Canada's better than the US. We have free healthcare and we take the Rona seriously. See, I'm just saying, you know, you say it's better, but then Mr. Web Soaps from America, but he has more disposable income for super chats right here. You know, I'm gonna base my favorite country based on who gives the most money. And right now, you know, Americans are the best tippers. And you know, who doesn't love tippers? I love when I get tips when I'm deep in a hole. Go deep enough in the hole and you will get big tips. That is what I'm saying right here. This is dumb. Everything is dumb. Yeah, IBXToyCat. It's only highlighted for me, by the way, because it's me. If you add anyone in chat, wait one sec. If you add anyone else, it'll be highlighted. So if you want to add, for instance, like, wait, let's do a thing right now. Everyone should, we need a global Schengen area. But the Schengen area works because there are okay, so the reason the United States works, the reason you can move freely between all 50 states is because they've got the same common external policy. And you have to make that external policy very hard because once you can get into any place, you can get into all of them. Which means that even if Switzerland wants to have easier, you know, like restrictions on how you can get in, they can't. That's not their border. It's the common border. Even if Maine wants to have 1 trillion there's not a trillion. If Maine wants to have 1 million Somalians move in, they are not allowed to unless the United States says so. Because that is, once you are in Maine, you can go to California and Nevada and Alaska, and therefore it's the collective opinion that matters. But you have to, you know, go on the hardest, whatever. You know, everyone at Alcazol in the chat, at ALCAZOL. You know, that I want her to see the orange. This is too much. No country can compete with Australia. See, right, Australia might be the best country. I don't know for sure. You know, it's possible. It's entirely a thing, right? Like but the point I was trying to say is like moving to a new country is so hard because all of the people you know are in another country. Your family is going to be in the country you're born, etc. And you know, like even like also thank you very much, Jester, First ticket tax. I like you. I like your cut. Hey, thank you very much, Jester. Also trans rights. Hey. So thank you for liking my cut. I want to look at my haircut now. You know what? You made me want to look at it. So let's Toy Cat looks at his hair while also reading chat. And that's what we're gonna do for a second. Okay, so this is my be right back screen, which is my read chat screen. I like my cut too. Thank you very much. Do you like my social media tag? IBX Toy Cat, also known as your name. Here's a tip from the US while you're in a hole. Wait, I need to go back to the hole. Live scene. Oh wait, the chat just started going, and then I closed it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did that to you. You deserve this. Wait, I can throw the chat box on the screen right now, because there's just so many messages. Why have you done this to me, Andrew? Okay, so there's a chat box in the corner of the screen. It's so small that I physically can't read it, but if it makes you feel better, you can show up on my screen. You're welcome. You can be like Stephen Renfro, who says, "Here's a tip from the US while you're in a hole." I'm in a hole, and I appreciate this tip. Are US haircuts better? Oh, I'm not getting my haircut while I'm here. Like, this is the dumbest thing. One of the hardest parts about moving to America, I'd have to find a new barber. You know, like, and apparently you have to tip your haircut person here. Like, oh god, like, you know, what is it? I know this is dumb. I think I mentioned this before. It's like, maybe a form of anxiety. When you haven't ever done something, it's so stressful thinking about all the ways you got to do it. And in America, it's so much worse because there's not, if you do something wrong, it's like, oh yeah, sorry, here's how you really do it. You might make someone's day a little bit harder. If I do something wrong here, I might not tip someone. They might be taxed on that imaginary tip, or maybe they have to give it to someone else. And therefore you are taking money away from people. Like if you don't tip your waiter, in a lot of establishments, you are taking money away from them because they have to tip a percentage of that meal, even if you didn't, which is dumb. What other business? And you know, like on average, it works. That's why the dumbness works. But it's like, oh god, I can't imagine forgetting to tip and then accidentally having stolen money from someone. Like I like a system where if I don't bother people, you know, I like a system where you don't have to bother people, they don't bother you. There's no downsides. Not in action. Like I think I said this before. If someone is drowning, I don't think it should be legally required that I save them, because I think you should be able to do nothing. I think nothing should be the default human action. Nothing is not the default human action in so many places, and it's scary. It's terrifying. It is. I don't even know how to put it that way. Anyway, so long story short, I find it scary, and you know, if you don't find it scary, that's cool too. Thank you very much. Hey,
oh
good.
No, it's not disposable. In fact, I am probably doing a disservice by donating for pointless questions, but I have made the decision to waste this dollar. Will definitely regret it later. America.
Maybe Americans don't have disposable income. They just make worse decisions. I like to believe it's the first one. But thank you very much, WebSoak. I hope you don't regret it. If you do, just remember that it's always Wednesday somewhere.
At Mythical, this
That is
is for you.
Whoa! Thank you so much. That is crazy. I appreciate it, Mr. Gaming Enthusiastic. What does the At Mythical mean? Oh wait, you're saying it's like you're doing it on behalf of At Mythical? You are a mythical human being. That's for sure. Whoa, thank you so much, my man. Or my human. Aren't we all just human beings spinning around this earth sometimes? I just noticed chat's on stream. Hello, me. I regret telling people they could put IBX token and thing. Like, it's useful for me to work it out, but there's just so many, and now it's scrolling so fast, I can't really read them all. America can't afford to have free healthcare though, because we have a large military. See, there's an interesting thing. I would be horrified to live in a place where I paid a lot of money to, like fund I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big military guy. And I hate the fact that if you live in a country, if you choose to live here, you are forced to fund that military. Would you like to fund the military? Yes, no choice there. But, and if it was me, of course I'd put a healthcare system in place. But isn't it wacky, the idea that anyone should have to do that? Like, hey, would you like to fund everyone's healthcare? Would you like to, there's no choices. And I know that, that's the fundamental basis on which tax works. Blah, 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 blah. I get it. I'm being my, being an anti, I'm a crazy human being for thinking that people shouldn't have to be forced to pay for things that they don't want to. Kind of like, thank you very much. I will choose a random person to spend money on to be nice. Thank you very much, gaming enthusiast. Please, wait. If you want to do it, I can help you out and make this fun for you. If you want Mr. Gaming Enthusiast to be nice to you, say something in chat right now. I don't know what that means, but I am curious to help him out. Also, thank you, Mr. Nebula. But yeah, it's a really, really, really scary. Like, this is my dumbest opinion. Like, I just think by default our default opinion should be don't mess with people. Like, leave people how people are. Okay, I was thinking about this today, right? You can. It's one of the key ways that we kind of distinguish people. Like, there's so many different struggles. We sometimes put it as like artist versus, like business person. We sometimes put it as like, left versus right, or manager versus worker, or whatever bizarre dichotomy you want to have. Sometimes it's the left, right, liberal, conservative thing. But like, one of the basic dichotomies that is very hard to get over is whether you imagine the perfect world and then step backwards to how you get there, or whether you look at the world as it is right now and step forwards to where you want to be. Some people look at the world right now and say, it's perfect, let's not change it in the slightest. And fair opinion, but that's incorrect, right? The world is not perfect in the slightest. Some people look at the world right now and say, it's so flawed, it's broken. One of the basic personality traits is being neurotic. If you're neurotic, you're very likely to be displeased a lot more. This is like a basic psychological thing. I'd have to talk about personality traits sometimes. Someone asked me if you want me to bring it up. Hey, Tokat, here's my first Tokat tax. Your live streams and long-style videos are keeping me sane during online school. Greetings from Texas. Hey, thank you, JK Turtle Swag. Are you just kidding about having turtle swag? Because if so, then I don't know. But thank you very much. I appreciate that, Mr. Man. Yeah, the block lag is a little bit weird like that. I agree. Bad doggy Carl. But the fundamental thing is like, which way do you want to see things? And I think at the very minimum, which way around is the world? Is the world something perfect that we're lacking, or is the world perfect despite lacking? Or like not perfect. Is the world good despite all the way it's bad, or is the world good despite all of the different ways which it is bad, or is the world bad despite all the ways it is good? Is civilization a good thing? Have we done good things as humans? And if you are a displeased person, you can even describe this as like optimist and pessimist, right? That's a similar but not correct thing. It's like if you see if you are a glass half empty person, then you're gonna be like, man, do you know all the suffering that happens that we could technically prevent? Why are we not preventing it? Whereas other people might say, do you know how many people could be suffering but are not because of the things that we have done? It's very interesting because you kind of need both people to exist, right? You can't continuously aim towards perfect because perfection doesn't exist. But you also can't say, oh yeah, look how good the past was, because then you never make progress. You need to find a thing in between there. I feel like I sometimes think about that in relation to how people look. Like a lot of people hate how America is because they see it. You don't see America as to how good it is and the fact that it's the most, it's the wealthiest country on earth that exists right now. It's the country with the most, the most overabundance of food that I think the world has ever seen. Dumb stuff like that. If you dislike the country, if you wish you weren't born here, you don't see that, do you? You see, the fact that, other countries have free healthcare and you have to pay. You see the fact that, there's lots of bizarre rules and, lots of people get shot and there's issues that just exist here that otherwise don't otherwhere. And you're like, man, why can't we be like those otherwheres? And yeah, you need to look at both, I think. Yeah, because imagine the other way around. Like those people it seems wacky to ignore that it's such a great country in some ways, but it also seems wacky to be like, well, we can't just rest on our laurels. If you don't improve a place, if you don't try to make it a better place, then it won't always be. The only way a country can become the best is so many people. Also, good to see you, Kat. But the only way you can make a place great is lots of people over hundreds of years you know, 250 years ago, this place where I am right now, no one lived here. 150 years ago, it was technically a part. No, wait, 180 years ago, it was technically part of Mexico. 150 years ago, it was a vague desert. 100 years ago, it's like a state with 10,000 people.
Here, hope you guys like this.
Hey, gaming enthusiast! You know, I'm glad you're such an enthusiast for gaming. I am personally a gaming enthusiast. Wait, I don't know. I'm going with this. I was gonna make a gay joke. I couldn't pull it off though. I'm sorry, I've disappointed you. Is this gonna be the villager basement? So this is gonna be a basement with a giant house in. I might fill the house with something. But yeah, it looks. Oh wait, I need to get the ladders right. The ladders. Let's go back and get the ladders. That's important. Can you please try to do a Texan accent? Whenever I do an American accent, it comes out Texan, and people get real offended with me. But I reckon they just ain't fans of progress. That's what that is. I think that, you know what, you can only make a great accent by working at it and believing in yourself. I don't know where I put these ladders, but they ain't here no more, fellas. That's not Texan. It's just generic Southern, I'll admit. I don't do great accents. That is my ultimate fundamental flaw. Where are the ladders at? I definitely had some, right? Where did I put the ladders? Oh, here they are. Why are they in there? Why? Why did I put them in there? Whatever, it's fine. Okay, so let's go down. He makes the best Texarpitian. Okay, whatever, we tried. Texan mixed with Idaho. I'm from Idaho, and I have this accent, apparently. I don't know why Idahoans have this accent, or if they're even called Idahoans, but you sound like I'm talking to his grandchildren with that accent. Here's another interesting change that's happened over the last, 100 years in America. I feel like the American accents slowly fade away. Like, so one of my chat moderators has a husband. Wait. One of the people someone in my universe is 70 years old, and from New York, right? It's weird when, there is a, I have a family friend. I'm a family friend of someone who is 70 years old. Is that an acceptable way to put that? I think that's an acceptable way to put that. So, he's from New York, and he sounds like, he was raised. Imagine New York 70 years ago, and everyone there sounds like they're from New York. But as the internet, I think, is the biggest part of this. But media and the internet combined have made it so accents are slowly fading away. Like, crazy American accents don't exist anymore. When you speak to Americans as a British person, they're pretty understandable. I think Americans don't understand British people quite so well. I think even me, I hate to admit this, Echo, he's from the north of the UK. North of England even. We're from the same part of the UK, but he's from the north of it. I had such big issues understanding him at first. And it's oh yeah, that just, it's crazy how big accents can be, but also how little they're getting in the future. I spoke to someone yesterday. It was very, very drunk American from California. He sat down at a table. Me and my sister were playing blackjack, because it's Vegas. That's what you do. You speak to Californians, and you play blackjack. That's the Las Vegas experience. So we're at a table, and the guy is just so where are you from? I'm like, the UK, and he's like, you don't sound like it. You lost your accent. How long you been here? And then he's just so why? He asked the question, the ultimate question. You're all wanting to know, which is so why here? Why do you want to live here of all places? What brings you here, Also, my effects have just run out. Is it worth climbing up every time to get them? It almost certainly is not. Let's try it though. Yeah, look at this. This is totally worth it. Also, I've been watching the BBC and English programming so long I understand the slang. Alright, mate, you got 50 quid. You wanna lend me? Wait, you wanna? Alright, man. All my favorite British slang, I hate using because it's it's seen as chavvy, I guess, maybe. But whatever, we can talk about that another time. So, if we want to have a big house opening, I think we have to here. Well, I'm gonna visualize this in my head. So we climb down the long shaft, which, whatever. Down the long shaft we go, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the big house appears. So if my current house is like 9 by 9 or 11, no, it's 11 by 11 on the outside, then I guess if we want to have it be like triple as big, it'll be 33 by 33. So this whole area now has to be 33 by 33, which means this is currently... Oh god, it's incorrectly portioned. That's fine. We'll ignore that. We can't really ignore that. But yeah, so we'll go an extra 11 blocks in each direction. Can we do that easily? I think we can do that easily. Yeah, I can totally do that. So...
I am from Norway.
Hey!
I've spent too much.
I've spent too much. Oh, wait. So why is it in dollars, friend? Do you deliberately set your account to America, or are you like a Norwegian living in America? I'm very curious about your situation there. But thank you very much. Do appreciate it. If you spend too much, you can stop, my friend. That is $100. I just realized. Oh my god. I thought it was 10. I was like, okay, text to speech. That's nice. Gee, that is nutty, my man. I always have this moment where I'm like, I appreciate that a lot. I hope as long as you don't regret this, we're in a correct place, American money. I love me some American money. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So then I mine this way a bunch. Make sure that lines up. And then we'll do the same on the other side. And then that can be the base of our house, I guess. At Y15. We should go all the way down to Bedrock, though. Yeah, we'll make it... Should we make it at Bedrock, actually? I guess we should. But we'll just start mining here, because then we can mine down from here. Okay, so now we're going to mine 11 blocks forwards. There's been more than 11 blocks. Let's do 11 blocks to the right first. 1. Is that correct? I'm probably going to have to do this one later. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 3, 4. Oh, what the heck is this? Also, Cloudier, I missed these streams too. It's been too long. I stopped counting and I ended up in a cave. Okay, so let's try that one again. I'll just place torches, actually. So this is 1. Yep. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. And perfect, we got to 11. Nice, I love it. Cat, you should charge $5 a laugh. Now the whole idea of the streams, like I know sometimes we like break from it as a joke, but it's always like, hey, I don't mind like how much money you have or don't have here. If you are, that's not the important deciding factor. We hang out. It's free to join. Always will be. I don't do member only streams, etc. for the most part. And then if you want to, you can. It's like it's pay what you want in a way. And I think that is a better way to do it. Not only like clearly, I don't know if it makes more money or not. Like I imagine it probably would though, right? But I think the key thing about it is like if you are having a rough night, you don't want to think about like, oh, am I gonna throw money here? Like let that decision wait until you're better. Like when people say like, oh, I'm having a, when people say something like, oh yeah, I my whole life is going downhill. But I'm, I don't have this money, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, my man. It's like, no, okay, someone's up here. I shouldn't be turning down the thing, but it's probably for the best that we do it. What will we do with a drunken sailor? Way hey, up and hey here, right? What is that jungle bell? What did I just read? Also, thank you, Stamp Down and Cat Girl. And also, thank you to someone, you just became a member, but for some reason it doesn't show up on my thing. Damn it, I try my best. Me. But yeah, no, it's kind of important to me. Like, let me talk about one of the worst, like, I think there are certain biases we have against people that we have to train ourselves out of. Like, if you hate someone because they are... I think, honestly, any reason you hate someone, like, I hate people who commit murder. I'd love to know why, it's a broad generalization, and it's a good one to have. And it has happened in real life, so it's a bad example. But like, okay, I hate people who like, what's a dumb example? Like, oh yeah, I would like to sit here and, okay, there are like, there's like a way to be entertaining when telling a bad story, and there's a way to just be throwing your life onto someone else. Like, right? Like if I tell you about, I don't know, I got stuck in traffic the other day. It sucked. That's a boring story. I'm telling you that not because I think it's interesting, hopefully. I'm telling you that story because... also, thank you, Mark Yu. What a fun name. I'm telling you that story not because it's interesting, but it's a... I'm telling you that story because I'm getting it off my mind. And, you know, that's fine. You know, we're all friends around here. But when you have, like, a particularly... Like, you know, when you do that enough, it's kind of like a way I think about it is you're making a withdrawal. Like, a friendship is like you know, it's a friendship is like a tally chart. You know, you're gaining points for maybe this is me being like an analytical dick or whatever, but you know, like a friendship is like this whole like you're doing nice things for each other in exchange for doing nice things to you. You can't be friends with someone who is never nice to you, right? Also, do you change your times to match your new time zone? Let me find out. My time on my phone is different. Do you want to see something crazy? Wait, I'm worried something's going to happen. But anyway, do you want to see something crazy? I'm going to check that you can actually see this. The time on my phone, for whatever reason, always thinks that California is my home time zone. I don't know why that is, but if I show you right now, it's like home. Like right here, it's 2040. Home is... also 2040, or local is 2040, home is local 2040. It's like, what is America my home now? Like, I bought this phone in California, admittedly, but like my home is the UK. That's where home is where the house is, and my house is in the UK. Yeah, for some reason it's like that. But okay, let me try and I want to put this eloquently because it's something I think about a lot. It's actually this is just an example. Like someone I dislike is someone who like throws all their problems regularly onto you. Like, the only reason they get in touch is because, you know, like, they only think, you know, like, so they can, the only thing they're doing with you is, like, hey, or, like, you know, like, it's okay to have, you know, do that sometimes, but it's like a withdrawal. You're moving a tally from here to there. Everyone's like a balance, right? Like, oh, yeah, you have fun, you have this. You want to, sometimes you have friends that are more balanced. Sometimes people are more okay with that, but, like, if you go something beyond that or something. And I wonder, like, why is that? Why don't I like people who tell boring stories and, you know, expect me to, you know, like, listen and be engaged and stuff without, you know, like, regularly, without any real thing. It's like, either they think those stories are interesting, but no, they're probably intelligent people, or maybe it's like, oh yeah, that's just how their friendship goes. If it's how their friendships go, is that a thing you gotta fix on that level? You're my therapist, I'm sorry. Tell me about how your life is messed up now, because I'll do it to me. I was thinking of digging a huge hole on my drunk stream tonight. It says Godfather 99X. I think, you know, I like big holes and I cannot lie. You other miners can't deny when a girl walks in, when a cave walks in with an itty bitty mine shaft or something. But anyway, you know, so that's like one of my like biases. That, like, you know, I have a thing like that. And one of my other ones, I hate that this is how I am, but like when I see when someone like brings up that they have rich family and they're annoyed by it, a part of me is like, you know, like I don't know why. It's just like I do a really bad job at like I can't emphasize that, and I think it's almost like a dick move to expect me to, right? Like so you know I think you know, this has happened to me a few times in my life. I had two kind of wealthy friends growing up. One was like a real dick about it. He was like, I can't believe you had to sleep on a mattress for my man, like, you know, ripped on me for, you know, whatever. I had one friend who was just like, yeah, you know, my parents aren't that wealthy. I mean, sure, you know, like XYZ, this car, that thing, it's a nice house, blah, blah, blah. But like, you know, we're not that well off. Like, you know, I kind of both ends of the spectrum on that. But it's really interesting when you see like, whenever someone to me is like super well off, like that, you know, they had a really well off childhood. Like, oh yeah, you know, we went on vacations, or, you know, a lot. Like every year, it's like, whoa, something money. There's a really interesting thing to me that like that like burns me in a way. Like that makes me feel like I have this instinctive reaction like, oh wow, yeah, life is so hard when your parents are rich but they don't give you money. Yeah, that's the hardest thing. Like I've heard that from so many people. Like again, every rich person I met in my life says something like, oh yeah, my parents make money, but like it's not my money, so, you know, we're basically the same here. It's like, no, that's not how that is it? It's it's not the same when you have parents who don't give you money versus you have parents who physically don't have money to give you, because it affects like your whole childhood and the raising of it. And it's like such an instinctive thing of like, oh, I hate you. This is the most unrelatable problem in the world. Like I can't. And I think it's interesting because that's my instinct, right? My instinct is I hate you if you complain about how rich your parents are. But then, I thought an interesting one to me is like people who have parents who own a house. When you die, you get that house, right? That's how it works. If you don't know, that is how it works. You knew someone was loaded in school if they went on family international trips every year from Australia. I'm like, oop. Yeah, I guess in Australia it's a whole nother level of wealthy to go on a trip every year. But like when people are like, oh yeah, sure we could, when people went on those expensive school trips, like, oh yeah, it's a skiing trip, you just got to put in a £600 deposit, and like the fact that that's like a difference that you can. Anyway, I'm getting a whole rant out the way. This wasn't my point. I just want to talk about my thing. Okay, I'm going to talk about it anyway, even though I don't want to. Like when sometimes you hear people who act like the biggest like problem is like, or like one of the things to me is like that I find interesting. Oh yeah, when my parents die, they're not going to give me the house. Like, can you imagine like, oh, I'm not going to randomly at some point in the next 20 years get a £500,000, or even if it's like a cheap house, a £150,000 asset delivered. Oh no, can you believe how hard life is for me? I'm not randomly going to have £150,000. That's the same as literally me being like, oh, you think your life is hard? I haven't won the lottery in the last 20 years, right? It's like a hard thing to do. But it's like, that's my instinct, right? I have a real hard time relating to anyone who like has rich parents because their issues are like, they'll almost like laugh with. It's like, yeah, can't imagine what it's like to turn 16 and your parents not give you a car. Wow, yeah, that's real hard. Imagine growing up and literally not having the option to drive a car because that literally isn't money. It was just never an option for a lot of people. But like, oh yeah, your problem of not getting the car you wanted or not getting a car at all, having to buy your own car. Wow, yeah, that's a tragedy or whatever. And that's like my instinct, right? That's my instinct is, oh, I hate this. And it's happened so many times, and every single time I've just like been like, well, you over there, me over here, right? But it's one of those things I'm trying to like work on, like, because I think the point I was trying to raise here is a lot of people have like instinctual hatred for certain things. Maybe your certain thing that you hate is someone who likes the Teletubbies. Maybe a certain thing that you like is my parents got rich after I left them. Maybe the thing that you like is maple syrup if you're Chantal. Like maybe these are the things that you have as a strong dislike or like, right? And I think it's like important to like correct for those things. Like also here's my target tax. I enjoy hearing you rant. Can you talk about the meaning of life? The meaning of life is whatever you want it to be, man. The fact that we can struggle about what the meaning of life is cool. That is something no other animal gets to do. And it seems like it's a burden around your neck that you have to come up with a meaning for life. But you don't get to pick a meaning. You can live your life on autopilot for 20 years if you want to. And like, it sucks, but it only sucks for you. It doesn't suck for anyone else. Life goes on without you, man. You can decide to contribute to the human project, or you can not. You can live in a cabin in the woods, or you can go fight. You can go donate blood and help with the lack of blood because of COVID. Maybe there's too much blood because of COVID. Everything because of COVID is too much or too little. Go help the things that are too little. Wow, you can go do those things, or you can not, or you can make it. Or your life purpose can be all about yourself. Do you want it to be that way? You can make it that way. Yeah, you better believe me. Also, there's a cave beneath my house that I've never explored or even lit up. How wacky. But anyway, so I brought that up not because I wanted to rant about like, oh yeah, when people are raised rich, it makes me like, I find it hard to relate to people on that level. But it's also like, part of me is like, that's almost called like hate. A part of me is like, oh, I hate you so much. Like, oh yeah, I can't. It's so hard. This, that. That's what my brain is like. But I think it's important to like realize that just because you have a feel it, just because it feels that way, it doesn't mean it's true. Like most humans, you have something in common. My mom lent me $100 to go to the store and pick up some stuff for her, and it was $6. She's like, here's the receipt. Can you take money? And wait, I want to read this story. I want to get that. And then she's like, "Oh, keep it." And I felt horrible. See, that's the type of rich parent everyone wants. I don't know if she is rich or she's just bad at money. It's functionally the same thing at this point, right? But anyway, my thing I wanted to say is that even if that's your instinct is like, I hate blank thing here. I hate, like, it seems like, if you're from this side of things, if you're from the side where you had parents who couldn't give you everything, all you wanted at the time was a parent who could just give you the money to go hang out at the cinema with your friends. Just give you the money to, go, like, I don't know, go to a club. Whatever the dumb thing is. Give you the money to go do whatever dumb activity it was. Go on a school trip or whatever. But, that's all you wanted. So, like, to see someone have that and not like it, it's, like, hard. But I think that's why it's so important to, like, look at it and, like, work out why that's your bias. And then also work out that it's kind of harder on the other end. I think the cool, like, I try to, it's kind of like the being an optimist thing, right? Look on the, she was just being helpful for me, I bought food for the week. Oh, that wasn't like that's always like the story you hear about, like, rich people where they're like, okay, here's $100, buy some milk, and then, if you've got any change, I guess you can keep it. That's like a stereotypical rich story. But anyway, like, it seems, from your angle, it seems one way, but, like, from, like, if you have wealthy parents, as best I can tell from the, the dozen or so people I've spoken to who grew up that way, it doesn't feel special to you, it feels normal. And that's almost a tragedy. Whenever, I won $60 at blackjack the other night, that feels incredible to me too. So, what even is $6? I made, like, the Minecon live stream, someone tipped, like, $400, like, overall, people tipped $400. I made $400. Like, that is, why did I do this to myself? Why do I do this? It's fine. That like the fact, those are incredible numbers. Even, like, I used to work on the internet. I've said this before. I used to work for literally $4 an hour or something to learn how to, write things that people wanted to see. That's the job that eventually got me my job that I eventually used to buy the things for YouTube. If you just, even though a part of me says, yeah, it'd be so nice if your parents just buy you a capture card and you can start YouTube, because honestly, at this point to start YouTube, there's a certain money requirement, which means there's a certain wealth requirement, which means you see a certain, call it privilege if you want, whatever we would call it, but, like, you see it that way. From their angle, it's like, man, first of all, imagine not understanding how the benefit of money and having to work for anyway. The people I just said who are like, you have to work 40 hours a week just to pay your bills. Imagine if you don't enjoy any of the, like, I get joy every time I spend money on something nice myself. If you don't have that joy, because money isn't money was never an object for you. It's like, yeah, you work a decent portion, like, because usually you don't get to keep your parents' money until they die. So in that meantime, you have your own job. You're supporting yourself, and even though it's easier, it's like, even though it's easier, etc., it's like, man, that's kind of a tragedy on its own level. The other tragedy is, like, higher expectations, right? People call this is one of the reasons why, generally speaking, if you're wealthy, even though schools are the same for everyone, the wealthier you are, generally the better you do. We sometimes, like, this is a theory, I don't think it's fact, but one of the largest expectations as to why, rich people stay rich, generally, like, their children get high-paying jobs, if you ignore nepotism and you ignore everything else that you want to blame it on. But one of the big reasons people, that is kind of true, is, like, it's about expectations. If your parents expect you to get A's, they're disappointed with your B, and you want to get an A.
I haven't been here for a few streams, but I've been enjoying this one. Are you living in America or just visiting? I hope you have an okay night.
Why is there your own tax, Mr. Toy Cat? You know what? There's my own tax, because that's what we call things. And also, Marcus the OK, damn it, I am really bad at not falling in lava. But yeah, it's good to see you, Marcus the OK. We've been, I stopped live streaming for a while, so I don't blame you for missing some. I missed some live streams, you missed some live streams. We're on the same level, right? But let's just say I'm not living in America. I'm visiting for a very long time. It's really weird because most words we use, like vacation or whatever, describe, like, going somewhere for a few days or a week. I'm staying here for 3 months. Is that a long vacation, or is that a very short time to live somewhere? I've rented an apartment. Is this a place to stay, or is this my home? The answer is we don't have words for them. Your durability looks perfectly fine to me, SMH, as long as there's still color. Right, exactly. Those are the rules I play by as well. I'm glad we're on the same page. But what I'm hearing is that everyone should go on a backpacking gap year, says Douglas Jackson. So yeah, that's an example of a thing, right? Like, just take a year off and just go around the world, travel the world. It's like, what? Anyway, I wanted to just briefly go it's an exchange. 3 months is how long my foreign exchange was. See, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell people about all the great things from America. I've actually, this is the dumbest thing and you can hate me. Also, Robin Brooks, thank you. It's good to see you. It's been a while. I've been playing your map quite constantly, purely in survival, and I love it. But if you hit the black die where I suspect you did, you're a monster. Oh man, I actually forgot the colors. Okay, I have a confession to make. I was gonna make all the colors mean something, and I made the first 4 colors mean something, and then the desert well color meant something, because obviously it's pretending to be water. But every other color was kind of random. Besides, I think orange might have been in the lot, right? But I actually don't know it. Like, I know each chest, but I don't know which one you think is particularly devious. But yeah, so let's throw some stuff in here. One of the bizarre. Wait, actually, I got lost in there. So I'm visiting America, I guess, temporarily. Oh yeah, I want to tell a story. This is really dumb, but I'm doing it anyway, so I'm telling a story about it. I love that you can, like, do you see this right here? I have a drink. This is a liter or so of fountain Diet Pepsi. I got some ice in there. I've got some ice, I've got some Diet Pepsi. There's some grenadine syrup that came with it, and I think this cost me 69 cents. I buy one like 4 times a week. Is that healthy for me? Let's ignore that question and move on to the next key one, which is the fact that you can do that, the fact that you can get Slurpees from any store here. Like, food in America is so good. And then I was thinking, why don't I, like, these simple ideas, like just having a Slurpee machine, having a slush machine with 100 flavors, I would really like that. But it doesn't exist where I am in the UK. It doesn't even exist anywhere within distance of me in London, I don't think. And London's a huge city. It's wacky that that's true. So I was thinking, why don't I just make the things that I like about America in the UK? Like, that's the best of both worlds. If my support network is in the UK, I mean, as supporting as they are or not, if my support network's in the UK, if all my friends are there, my climbing buddy, etc., what if I just bring the things I like about America there? Then I can have the things I like about here, while still having the UK stuff. I pay the higher UK taxes or whatever, but like that's the price I pay to live with people I care about or know. And so I was looking into like buying a convenience store. I was like, how much is a convenience store anyway? And I was like, I'll just outfit my stuff. I'll give it a whole marketing thing. It's a very dumb idea. But it's something I've been looking into doing. So if anyone out there is like an expert in the field, I feel with 4,000 people, someone here specializes in like, how do I buy like a chain? I want to buy a store that runs itself. Like, obviously I have to hire someone to run it or something. I don't know how that works. There's a lot of like tax complications. Because I looked into it and it's like, man, this is why people don't run businesses. I have a dumb idea. I want to pay someone some money to make it happen. I don't know how much money. It's probably going to be a lot, but cheaper than buying a house in America, right? Anyway, whole thing. Just buying a convenience store. Yeah, right. Because I mean, like, obviously you could just like, because the 2 options are you could like ask a convenience store to do it, but then they need a compelling reason, or you just like give someone a lot of money and then they, you go to the bank and you say, I've got a cool idea for a convenience store. I know how to make a convincing business plan, etc. I studied business in school, and so I think it's one of the small things that like helps do something super dumb like that. I'm an expert at something and I can stand in a field. Thank you to Bad Llama. Anyway, staying on progress. Also, thank you, videos for people to watch. Appreciate the $2 Australian. But yeah, so to go back to the thing, because I want to talk about this a little bit more. So my instinct is like, man, if you want to complain about your parents having so much money and it's the worst for you, like, not relatable to me. But what is like, it's not relatable, but I'm trying to like better not like have my eyes go blank and like roll them too much, and try to be like trying to understand that just because other people's problems aren't my problems, they're not problems. Like, having the amount of stress that people go under when they have parents, like, it's a thing. Like, whether you know it or not, it's called there's something of high expectations. I forget the name, but it's like if your parents expect a lot from you, they're like, you will get an A, then you get a B, they're disappointed. If your parents expect a C from you, I don't know how this works in America. I think C is passing. In the UK, C is a pass. Everything's a pass, but C is a good pass. So like, or the only acceptable pass, I guess. So if you get a C and then if your parents expect you to get a C, then you get a D, they're like, okay, you tried, good job, you know? And that's better on the level of like, yep, it's easier to do. But it also means, you know, like having low expectations sucks because it means you might do worse off overall or whatever. But it's having high expectations is awful because it means like you're under so much pressure constantly to do well that when you do really well, it might not be well enough. Like, I don't know, like, I think I mentioned this before. People, sometimes you want your parents to care enough to be disappointed. Right, Kat? I agree with that. Like, I used to hate, whenever I quit college to do YouTube. I didn't actually quit it, I finished it. I was gonna quit doing it, she was like, my mother was like, no, you shouldn't. But, and then I was, like, and then I stopped going to university. Like, I had a whole plan. I had a university lined up. I had all the qualifications. I probably can't do it anymore because I think they run out. I had all the qualifications to go to a pretty nice university, one of the top 20 in the UK. I don't know if I'm flexing right now or not, but yeah, look at me, I have qualifications. But you know, like my mother was like, oh yeah, this is why, you know, this is you know, I'm not sure this is a good idea. I get messages from my stepmother. I don't even know her. Like, I met her once, and she sends me messages every now and then, passively aggressively assuming, like, you know, I tell her about YouTube, and she's like, oh yeah, but when are you gonna stop that and go to university? And it's like, I got 1 million subscribers. Like, oh, that's really nice. I wonder if they'll appreciate that at your university or whatever. And it's like, you know, this is why I hate you. This is. I mean, I don't actually hate her. It's actually, I only hate her because of that one thing. Like, she only gets in touch to tell me to go to university, ignoring, you know, the fact that I make, oh whatever, you know. HTC, long time no see. I work in an independently owned store. My bosses want to sell theirs for $500,000 in Oklahoma, so that's cheap. That's cheap for a store. Okay, I cannot afford a convenience store. I felt the high expectations thing. See, right? But high expectations, like, what you want is parents who have high expectations and then are good at handling it when you don't meet those, and also actually appreciate you when you meet them. It's a really small thing. Everyone needs this, like, appreciation of just like, hey, I achieved a thing. Can you just also thank you, Matthew Selfie. You know, you're Matthew Selfie now. You are named after, in my mind at least, you are named after the world's most famous former photo. But like, I think it's, what time is it, by the way? It's 9:04. When did we start streaming? We got plenty of time. Let's keep going. Never-ending live stream. People just want someone to acknowledge what they've accomplished. You know that thing I was talking about earlier. With, do you acknowledge how good things are right now, or do you strive to make them better in the future? The truth is, you should do both. The truth is, you really need to do both. But when you just strive to do better in the future, when your parents just strive to do better in the future and they don't appreciate what you have right now, that like burns people. That forces people to like do crazy stuff and then be like, oh, it's not so good. I've seen people personally, firsthand, who just can never be happy with themselves about anything. Like, they're never proud of anything themselves. I met a guy, like, the moment he got to, like, I don't know if he got 1 million subscribers, but, I told you about this story. I know a YouTuber who, in 1 month, made $80,000. He made more than $80,000, but that's the amount he should, like, PayPal had a limit of $10,000. He showed me 8 of the 10,000 payments. He made $80-something thousand a month. And his only thought was, like, next month, 100. Like, he wasn't happy. He was, like, brutally depressed. It was like, because, you know, like, next month was like September and things went down because he had a very child-focused Minecraft channel. But also, thank you, Crack Magnet. Good to see you again. And also Subtome. Thank you, Stamp Dan. What is Subtome, please? You know, are you telling me to? Subtome is someone who super chatted. Did I miss his message? Subtome. What did you say? And what did I miss? Also, I am the real IBX Toycat. Oh, it's sub to me, not Subtome. I'm so dumb. I'm so stupid. I hate myself. But I would hate you, but I hate myself more for answering. But no, like, people like push themselves real far, right? People, and they, like, if you don't appreciate what you've done every now and then, you just break because you go so far. And you, like, on this stream, we did a little thing where we're just like, hey, I'm just gonna appreciate you today and something you've done. Tell me about something you've done, and I'll be proud of you. And there's a lot of people who are like, man, that felt good. Why does no one do that? you know, like, you know, again, when someone you appreciate the opinion of says they like, can I talk about a very personal thing? Maybe, again, I always worry whenever one of the things that I'm happy with in life, because I grew up with, you know, not having money, is whenever I, like, make a financial accomplishment, I'm like, ooh, you know, like, that makes me feel good. Like, being a step closer to hopefully not having to, you know, like, I always feel like I'm on the edge of being literally broke and starving. I think that's a common thing if you don't grow up money. But, like, so when I bought my house, and I went through a lot of extra effort, like, you know, my repayments are dumb high. Oh, what just happened to me right there? What just happened to me? Okay, it's fine. What just happened? Did I get hit by a skeleton or something? Oh yeah, it was a skeleton. Well, you deserve what's happening to you right now, don't you? I really need to light this place up. And maybe get rid of the lava bucket, of the lava area. I mean, it's pretty. You gotta agree. But, so I bought a house, with a really short term on the mortgage. Basically, like, the idea is the house would be paid off for its party. It's super hard to do that. It meant I had to save for a really long time to even get it all. Whatever. Like, I've been saving since I was like 16 for this whole thing, and just I think like my uncle just like went to the side one day and he was like, hey, congrats, you know, your mother told me about the mortgage term. No one ever says that. Everyone just goes, oh, it's cool, it's a house. That's, you know, like, just like everyone else. But he's like, hey, you know, like, heard about that? That's incredible, you know, like, you're killing it, you know? And just to, like, say something nice. Not to say something, like, I always get caught in this trap, right? I get caught in the trap of, like, a, also 10-year mortgage. I think it was, like, 7 years or something. I'm not here to flex about my mortgage credentials. I just want to say, like, it's an unusually short, overpaid mortgage or whatever. Like, the goal was be 30, only be paying for what I want to be, you know? Like, it sucks that if you don't grow up money, you have to work out how to pay all these things by yourself. So it'd be great if you could have those be dealt with. Anyway, but just, like, every now and then, like, sometimes you get caught in the trap of complimenting other people by trying to relate it to yourself. Like, oh yeah, you did a really good job here. I did that so badly. Like, oh yeah, you learned to ride a bike in 3 days. It took me 3 years. Or like, you know, I do this all the time. Like, man, you got to 1,000 subscribers so fast. It took me 5 years to do so. That's what you want to do. That's what seems the most relatable. I think the best thing you can do for someone is just be like, yeah, proud of you, man. Good job. You know, whether they believe you or not, whether they think they did a great job is obviously down to them to work out. Also, this cave is going to be very big, I'm realizing now. What time is it, Chief? First stream I've caught, and it's 6 a.m. Happy 6 a.m., Emma Nelson. We have an above number of Emmas watching these streams. I wonder why that is. I made the tough choice to go part-time this semester at uni and drop a unit. I'm not good at backing away from challenges, so it feels like failing for me, but I know how to do it, so it's big for me. So, right, like, knowing when to up the difficulty and knowing when to down it is one of those impossible challenges in life. Because there's always a part of you that will know, or think, or suspect, or you know, whatever. There's always a part of you that's going to be like, you know, what if I could? You know, your life is presumably like a tiny bit, like 6 months behind trajectory. You know, like, therefore, should you have done it? Or, like, you know, working out the right amount of challenge for you to take on. To put it this way, like, we're all living in, like, a big global village, right? Some of us go out and fetch fish. Some of us build the houses. Some of us heat the fires. And, you know, some of us look after the children. Those things vaguely exist even in the modern world. But, you know, we're all living in this big global complex world. And to work out, and, you know, like, to some extent, we all feel obliged to help in this world. You know, in some way. You might feel not very obliged. You might feel very obliged. I don't know you. I don't know your life. Emma's and Emily's are quite common on your channel. It's very suspicious, if you ask me. Also, thank you, Toab Studios. Hi, Mr. Toycat. Just want to say hello. Hello, Mr. Toab Studios. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I assume that's what you were asked, and so I asked it for you. That's how wonderful I am. Well, I'm going to drink some of my 7-Eleven. 69 cents, by the way. This is 50p for this amount of liquid. In Australia, it's $1 for a Slurpee. You can get a slush anywhere from an Australian dollar, so that's like 50p or so. It's crazy cheap. Wow. And it gets you in their store, so it's actually smart business. Like, I like smart business. I like smart business that's... Isn't that crazy? They make the world better for me with these 69 cent drinks. They probably don't even make money on them. And then I go in there and I buy, I don't know, a bottle of... What did I buy most recently? I bought an ice cream sandwich for $2. You know, that costs them a crazy small amount. You know, what I'm trying to say is, like, they did a thing that made the world better, and then they got enriched from it. Isn't that cool? Isn't that a thing that makes you want to do that? We're all trying to make the global village that we live in. I love 7-Eleven, but I never go because I've decided I'm only allowed to go if I walk. That's a fun rule. I have one within, like, I don't want to dox myself. I live so close to a 7-Eleven that if I told you how close I live to it, you wouldn't believe me. It's easier for me to go to a 7-Eleven sometimes than it is for me not to go to 7-Eleven. I text my friend that I'm proud of her right now because he steals this Sonic TV. See, that's what I like. If she respects you, you know, tiny chance she hates you, doesn't respect your opinions at all, but most likely she I shouldn't say that to people. Some people are gonna get paranoid about it. But you know, there's a tiny chance she hates you, and there's a tiny chance she's like, ugh, this guy's always just saying nice things because all he wants is to get into my trousers. But okay, I need to work out 33 blocks this way now. So from here, this is 1. Actually, should we do it from here? We'll do it from the center, actually. From this center point right here. 1. Oh, there's lava in the way. You know, life is hard. How do I do all of this? Let's go from here. This corner is definitely right. I know that much for sure. So we'll dig down in the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Wow, that is crazy that already happens to perfectly line up. Nurpa says, hi chat. Hello Nurpa, how you doing? You're not saying hello to me. You know, I'm sorry for responding to someone else's hello. But yeah, just I don't know, tell someone they're proud of them. You know, chat, you know, I'll do you a nice little favor. Tell me, Tokat lives in the back for 7-Eleven. They need to invent a tape measure in Minecraft. I'd appreciate that so much if there was like a, what would you call it, like a ruler or something? Just something to measure for when you're doing these sorts of projects. I guess coordinates already do that. I could just count coordinates rather than the ridiculously complex way of doing things that I'm doing. I could do it, but I'm clearly not, so maybe they should factor that into their equation. Also, what is this even? Okay, this is above the lava cave, so I want to mine from down here through the lava cave or around it or whatever, and it'll be great. I'm so tired, it's 12:13 AM. Also, you can get free Slurpees on certain days. See, right, there's free Slurpees. They've worked out a business model where they can give away free iced drinks that I love. I would pay, you know, like 5 times the price they charge me for it, but because it's the price, I buy more of them. They know that. You know, there is a great thing being done. Imagine doing math. Or maths, as it's known in the UK, because there's plural of them. There's not just one mathematical Lena. Jesus. Wow. I'm so offended. But yeah, are you having a good day? I hope you are. I am having a good day, Vectorfu. Yeah, but it's really interesting that, like, on a personal level, sometimes people feel burnt out by how things are going, and like, man, I find these expectations crazy. But then also, like, at the same time, what I expect from society is perfection. Nothing but perfection all of the time. One of my favorite examples is... Okay, wait, so recently, one of the things I'm a big believer in public transport. I don't think it's the only solution. I think if you live in a rural area, it's not going to work. I'm a big believer that transporting the masses together is faster for the masses and it's more convenient. If you take a train, it's better than a car because it can go faster, because trains can go faster than cars. It transports more people. You know, you can progressively charge the rates, so, you know, you can give seniors and children half off or whatever. Like, you can, you know, you can do some clever things with a group of things. And then also, you know, like, so it's faster. You can do other things. While you're driving, you have to drive the whole time. Anyway, basically, I'm trying to say, I like public transport. I'm, like, a believer in the system. But I recently came to the conclusion, I have to drive. I thought to myself, you don't have to drive. If you have enough money, if you are a billionaire Minecraft YouTuber like myself, because I'm definitely a billionaire. Look at the t-shirt. You don't just wear worn shirts of kangaroos if you're a billionaire, unless you're a billionaire. Sorry. See, people with no money spend the most money on their clothing. Think about it that way. Anyway, so that said, so therefore I must be a billionaire because I spent $5 Australian on this shirt. Anyway, the point I was trying to raise with that is to say that, no, I wasn't raising any point. Anyway, what I was just trying to say is that the belief I have is like I like public transport. So I try to support it wherever I go in the world because it's so much more convenient. Even if I could drive, I was like, running a car would be such a nightmare. Going through this, that, the other. When in Japan, you just hop on a train. In wherever else, you just hop on the form of public transport you choose, and you're good to go. But being in America, there's a thing that I want to do every day that I physically cannot do any other way. This is so dumb. This is ridiculous. But if I want to do this thing every day, there is no choice but to drive. There are so many things like that. Ignoring drive-thrus, ignoring how easy it is to get certain stores. Because you think to yourself, like, oh yeah, you can Uber everywhere that you can't drive. No, that's not true. I hate that every Uber talks to you in America. They're like, hey, I'd like to get to know you. Because they can't get tipped if they don't talk to you. So, it's all about good service, air quotes. So let's have a conversation about what you've been up to. Oh, you're from England. I'm going to ask you the same 5 questions because we're just starting a conversation. Maybe what you want right now is to be quiet. But if you ask me to be quiet, I can rate you 1 star. So oh wow, and now we're stuck in a conversation. No, that's not what I want from a drive. But ignoring that, it's like if you want to go somewhere that's 10 minutes away in Uber, it's like, oh yeah, you request the Uber. 8 minutes later it shows up. 10 minutes later you're there. Takes 20 minutes. Uber drivers never talk to me, says Alina. I'd be terrified if I was a single, not single, like as a single like one woman getting in an Uber, because like, what if the driver hits on you? Like, because as a guy, if a female driver hits on you, which doesn't happen because that's not the way society is set up for whatever reason. Man, why won't my female Uber drivers hit on me? I just want to find, can we make a dating site, but the way you speak to each other is you get in Ubers, and that's a great idea for a game show. But not for a dating site. But anyway, I'm going on too many tangents there. Repair your pickaxe, says T-Rex. I'm fine. It's Vegas. They assume everyone's a tourist, I suspect. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. I mean, they always ask, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm staying here for a while, and they're like, oh, you're from London, eh? My wife went on 2-week vacation with a Boston Cabo. She isn't returning my calls, says Luke Devine. Assuming this isn't a joke, because I'm always worried that I'm falling for like, this is like the lyrics to a song or something, and then people will be like, oh, Toy Cat, I can't believe you didn't understand that the guy who said he was distressed was actually joking about it. But if that is real, hold out hope. There's a glimmer of chance that things are okay. In reality, unless there's a really good excuse the moment you get back, you should have everything ready to delete, Have a kill switch ready. Of like, okay, here's the divorce lawyers, here's the people who are going to take the kids by force, here's the lawsuit for loss of, I don't know how it works, honestly. I don't know how that works, but just get that ready, just in case. Every now and then, it's okay, and it's just like, oh, my phone broke, and I couldn't get to you because I don't know your phone number. No, she has a way. Like, someone in my extended universe, had a boyfriend vanish for months, and like for the first day they vanish, that sucks, right? Second day they vanish. Interesting. Oh, I'm gonna trade out this pickaxe, or I'll just repair it right now. Actually, I've got too much experience. Some could say your type of undying is staring at you. It's very weird. It's so weird for me to be up here in the top right corner. I'm so used to being in the bottom left. Oh, great, he is wrapping up the stream. I usually would wrap up the stream at 2 hours. I'm just kind of rolling with it today. I don't want to stop streaming. I don't know why I don't want to stop streaming. I've been addicted to YouTube recently, and by that I mean I've been not making videos or streams. This is me right now, says the guy. And then a sleeping face. Check out repairing pickaxe. What a day. Okay, let's do this right now. Let's show the world why they ain't nothing but something. Okay, so we're gonna put a right now we got efficiency 4. So we take an efficiency 4 pickaxe. We definitely have one somewhere around here, and we combine them together. Maybe. You know, I'll just get a regular diamond pickaxe. I'll disenchant one of these, I guess. Efficiency 2. No one wants efficiency 2. So what we do is we unrepair it, and then we'll see how much this costs. Actually, it's probably too much. It's probably like super expensive, and that's why I didn't repair it. No, it's 2. There we go. Perfect. Isn't that nice? And now we got an efficiency pickaxe all over again. Nice. I can do that with this as well, but I won't because this is mending on. Pickaxe management 101. So there was an Adam poem with a phrase, sometimes Uber is better than Tinder, or something like that. I'll admit, I hate having conversations with Uber drivers more than I hate. Like, there is nothing I hate in my life more than a bad conversation. Like, because the worst bit about conversations is you can't stop them midway through. And it's important that we can't. Something I would love to do, if I was like I would love to be in a situation where I could get away with this without feeling bad, or without people like bad-mouthing me and being like, you hear about this guy? But I'd love to be like, you know what? This conversation, know where this is going? No. I can do that on these live streams, right? Like, Cat Gale said, one time an Uber driver from South America sang to me because I was crying. See, that's a bad example. I'm gonna find a better story that I wanna... Actually, wait, even me going like, I'm gonna find a better story that I'm gonna ignore halfway through it. See, that's what I'm going to do right now. The fact that I can do that, even though that story is beautiful, I can be like, yeah, no, I don't care about your story. I care about David Solomano saying, is rain in Minecraft better or worse than conversations with Uber drivers? It's a trick question. They're both the Antichrist. Hypothetically, if my sister tried to hit my pet cat, what would I do? Thank you, Aiden Walker. See, I don't like that conversation. So I go, haha, thank you, Victorio. Are you sure the Tom dying isn't going to kill you? There's only one way to find out, Mr. Victorio. What are you going to say about the disappearing boyfriend, says Captain Patches. Oh yeah, so a boyfriend disappeared for 2 months. And the first day in, it's like, who knows? First weekend, it's like, you never know. Maybe something's gone bad internet this. By a certain amount of time. I'd even say a week is long enough, but after a week and a half, unless you're in the hospital, critically ill, there is a way to get in contact. You can go to a friend's house, or you can go to like, if someone doesn't get in contact with you that you know from the internet, after a certain amount of time, then you can be pretty sure that it's like, oh yeah, they just don't want to be. I don't like telling a story because it's like, I don't know. It's like a sad part of my life. But in case it helps anyone out there, did you know you're just allowed to disappear if you want? I learned from a Vsauce video that it's not illegal to just disappear off the radar. I have heard that fact indeed. But yeah, so I had a girlfriend. Clearly she didn't. You know, I thought she was the bee's knees, but clearly she did not think the same way about me. Because one time we'd arranged to go on a trip somewhere. Just before the trip, she was like, "Oh yeah, I don't really want to go, but like I'm really sick. Like please just go without me." And I was like, first of all, like I thought it was such a dick thing to like wait until I got just before I was getting on the coach or whatever. But I was like, okay, you know, fine. You got sick this morning. I had a sad weekend. It was in Leeds, if you're curious about where I was going on my romantic weekend. It wasn't a very romantic weekend. I went to the Leeds Armory though. It was a nice enough time. I met a nice Uber driver from the area, so you know she had a disabled child, and see I don't know how I remember all these details. Anyway, so I she on like the, you know, she there was a bus that she just didn't get on, and then she never responded ever again. Like I think that was in like June, July, May, maybe. And then she just, I sent a message afterwards. She didn't respond. And this is the dumbest thing. It's not even that she did, like, and then I sent another message like a week later. She didn't respond. So then I sent like a Twitter message or something, like a different social media platform. And then she didn't respond. And then I was like, you know what? I can't send another message now. Because if she does eventually respond, I'm gonna seem so needy. It's the dumbest thing running through my brain. I bet if I'd have just pestered her, she'd have been like, "Hey, I'm trying to ghost you right now." But like, I was like, I don't want to seem needy. I don't want to seem like, like I care about this person that I clearly deeply care about because I've committed to them on a relationship level, right? But so yeah, I waited like a few weeks, and every single day, like it like tore me apart. Every day I was like, I didn't know if she was like, I didn't know if she was ever going to respond again. Half of me was like, oh, she's ghosted me, this isn't a thing. And half of me was like, no, she probably just been really busy this last 4 weeks. Oh, she's probably just like, like going through a tough time for the last month and a half, and that's why she hasn't responded to a single message or said anything. I don't want to bother her. Like if she's going through a tough time, the least she needs is a message from me. So literally for like 2 months or something, for like quite a while, for like, it was a very long time. It must have been a really long time actually, because I remember the time that I was in Canada. It was in like, I guess it must have been in November, because I think there was a presidential election happening. Eventually, like, I was just like, hey, I'm gonna keep bothering you until you tell me, like, what is the deal with this relationship? Like, months had passed, I hadn't got a single message. And I was like, that was important. Like, it was so sad to finally realize after months of, like, being left that, like, oh yeah, turns out she was just... ever since day one, that was a ghosting for her. That, like, to her, that was, like, no big deal. Like, she was just like, oh yeah, I just won't respond to him, and then he'll get the message probably. But to me, that was like months of turmoil. And it made me realize something that, like, I thought this trip was to the USA. It was 2016, I should say. I guess. Like, I think it must have been the Trump one, because I remember, like, I was watching with a couple of friends, and we were all just, like, as it was happening live, I had a friend, like, I don't know why he was on the Trump train, but, like, it was like, is this really happening? I don't think this is really happening. But anyway, so I remember that, like, distinctly happening. But it was like, it was a guy who, like, moderated for the channel at the time. A lot of things happened in that amount of time. But the reason I'm telling you this whole thing is because it's such a different story to both parties. What seems like the easiest choice to you is not the easiest choice to those around you all the time. And that's why if someone hasn't messaged in a certain amount of time, they could have done it. Like, oh no, she was just going for a rough time this month and a half, I don't want to add to her problems. No, at some point your needs do matter. At what that point is, hard to say. I hate to tell people that, like, yeah, your needs are so important, always value them. Because sometimes your needs should come second. A decent amount of the time, perhaps I could even say. Like, yeah, your needs are unimportant and you don't matter to the world. Sometimes that's true. Yeah, maybe. But it's also worth mentioning that, like, a lot of the time, your situation really does matter. A lot of the time, like, some people tend to, like, overdo or underdo things. And that's an example of, like, really, really underdoing things. IBX Toycat, hypothetically my aunt... Okay, that's the same person asking weird questions. At some point, they've used all their tally marks. Yeah, right, and at some point, you can... Like, the impoliteness of, like, sending a message is probably better than not, right? Like, if you think to yourself, like, oh no, if she gets back from a 2-week vacation and she sees that I've sent, like, 20 messages, she'll think that I'm really needy and that I really love her for some reason. It's like, well, both those things are true, aren't they? You really probably do love... That's probably why you married her, and you are validly concerned because it has been 2 weeks without contact. You guys can have a long-term, even well-established relationship. It's absolutely brutal. It's so mean. Think of the denial of closure that's really cruel. Yeah, closure is so important, and it's weird because it shouldn't be. It seems dumb, like, if a relationship's going to end, I don't really need to know why. My first relationship, I got a breakup via text, and at the time I thought to myself, this is awesome. Like, would have preferred the relationship stay there, but thank God this was just via text. Now we don't have to have a whole breakup conversation. Like, it seems awkward to deal with, and that's probably what she was thinking when she broke up with me that way. But the end result is, like, you wanna just know what went wrong here. If I'm going to improve it, what should that thing be? and if you don't even know your relationship's over for months, it kind of breaks. I think I've spoken to a few people who have been ghosted, and every single person I've spoken to has been like, yeah, I have issues of like, like, because because the first day seems normal and the first month seems like the first day. If okay, wait, let's put it this way: if it took me 2 months to realize, if it takes you 2 months to realize that someone is actually ghosting you, then like the 2 months, the 1 month and 29 days feels the same as 1 day, but then that retroactively makes you feel like 1 day is the same as 1 month and 29 days. The post-mortem discussion. Yeah, anytime something fails, it's important to work out why. Victoria, Victor Foro. I think I've been calling you Victoria even though you're Victor Fu. I'll call you whatever I want, Mr. Victoria. But I'm sorry, friend. Hope you're doing great today. Well, I didn't want to break up with you, Dr. Toycat, says Dr. Deceptive. I'm very... people don't like to admit this about stuff. They like to be like, I'm so perfect, and everyone should acknowledge that all the time. I am, I think I don't realize, like, okay, everyone's like this sometimes, but like I see myself like this like so often. I'm like, oh, this is why people don't like me. But like, I try to be very chill and easy to live with. That's a thing I try to develop in myself. But the reason I try to do that is because like, it's not how I am by default at all. Like, I'm very, very easily like, I don't know how to like even put it like. People can do... Okay, let's put it this way. Even though, like, a lot of things that bug normal people don't bug me. Girlfriend doesn't text back for 2 months. Probably just busy. Or, like, I mean, it bothered me. Now it would bother me because I would worry about it. But, the fact that, like, I can be so chill about that, or like, oh, yeah, you're eating some messy food with your hand. Like, there's a lot of things that... Everyone has their own things they get, like... upset about, the things that they get like whatever about. I don't know. I feel like you're just trying to find the people who can live with your weird set of rules and clarifications. And I guess the way I be not good enough. Also, this is a heart. I didn't realize. Oh, it's not a very good heart actually. Like I try to just like I think it's important to acknowledge the ways in which you're a terrible human being to live with. Here's an example. I'm like a very slobby person, but I don't like living in unclean environments. So I spend the minimum amount of time possible fixing it every now and then. But if I hate living in someone else's mess. It's like that's dumb. You can't be a slobby person who hates living in someone else's mess, because then you hate when someone forces you to be clean, but also you hate like that. There's an example. I try too hard to make people happy, then start to resent them for not trying as hard as me. See, these are things that like sound. It's like I think this is one of the things behind the monkey paw. The monkey paw, like you get your wish granted, but something's bad about it. Also, thank you. Bread is that try bread is great. Bread is great, but I don't know if you should be so excited about it. Why don't you build a water elevator? Makes things much more efficient. Toycat make an actually efficient structure rather than just digging a cave under his house. I could never imagine that. I could turn it into a heart. I'm similar. I think I'm lucky my boyfriend's a clean freak. See, but then they're going to resent you for that because from their perspective, right, what they're seeing is you like things being nice, but you're not putting effort into making them that way. Like, I don't know. I like... I don't know, there's a bunch of dumb things, I'm sure. I value money, but also one of the things I value about money is the ability to spend it in dumb ways. The fact that what's the worst? What's the worst way I spent money? I spent $120 today, because I physically cannot get to a place I wanted to go to. Like, I was very excited to. It cost me, all in all total, because of all the dumb fees and stuff like that. I spent $120 today to go somewhere. It went awfully. Like, it ruined my mood. Like, I just felt like garbage all day because it didn't pan out because of actions outside of my control. But the fact that like I value being able to spend money in dumb ways and trying to not let it weigh on me. Like what's the dumbest thing I spent I'm spending 100 and I don't know how many dollars it is, honestly. I think it's 113, maybe 130. But I spend that amount of money to go to Atlanta, Georgia, because I want to see Georgia. I wanted to for a while. Like, I like traveling. I spend money on something dumb like that. Just a flight. Like, it's a cheap flight. It's Spirit Airlines. People hate Spirit, I hear. But, like, to me, it's like, oh, that's a cool, worthwhile thing. There are certain ways I value... Like, the biggest thing about having money, the biggest value is to not be sad when you spend it. That's, to me, the biggest value you can have. The financial security of knowing that your next purchase isn't going to make it so that you can't afford food or rent or whatever. And to some people that seems dumb. There's a lot of really... When you explain something from your perspective, you explain it, again, with all your thoughts and feelings attached. When someone else explains it. Like, I would love to get... I need to get in touch with an ex-girlfriend and get them to explain the worst things about me. I think that'd be a really useful thought exercise. I should get the girlfriend who ghosted me to explain the worst things about me. I wonder if they even hated me. I think it just turned out they were just, like, not into human beings. Whatever, that's a whole... that makes it sound like they're a fairy or something. You know what? I'm gonna slander my ex-girlfriend. You know, she's probably one of those. Also, spending money in dumb ways. Thank you, Crack Magnet. See, right, you spent 25 New Zealand dollars. I assume that's a lot of money. I assume it's a lot of money to you. I appreciate that you did that, right? You spent the money, and yeah, it's gone. But the fact that you saw your name on your screen, or maybe you just, you did a thing, you feel the serotonin when you spend it. That's cool. If you didn't feel any of that, if you felt awful, you're like, did I just spend $25? Can I afford to heat the house this winter? Because it's probably winter in New Zealand. I don't know how seasons work. What's her name? Emma lol. She didn't like me, therefore she must not like anyone. Yeah, exactly. She didn't like me, and therefore she was not into human. Like, if you don't like IBX Toy Cat, maybe you're just not cut out for men. You know, that's the only conclusion I can have. No, she Oh, is the stream going okay? Grapes or pineapples, friends? Grapes or pineapple? Give me your honest answers. How is the stream going? But yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, no. An important thing about living with people is, like, try to think about yourself as a, like, again, I would love to hear her explanation of me. I bet she thought I was great, but she's just not into human beings. She's just no, I guess asexual, right? Whatever, I don't know what she was. She was something. Therefore she probably thought I was the best. It was just a second of lag. Man, YouTube's, like, really reminding me about that second of lag then. But, I think hearing about yourself from someone else's perspective is so useful. Because, there's that fact that, like, every couple, both people think they do most of the cleaning. In every couple, both people think they do most of the work, etc., etc. Like, it's how it is. Like, people always use that stat as, like, oh, do you know how sexist society is? Women do most of the cleaning. It's like, no, if you look at what men say men do most of the cleaning. Maybe there is a bias, but you can't prove it with, whatever, Tangent. I think bad statistics are a bad way to talk about genuine issues in some cases, because they devalue your entire argument. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about right now is the fact that, like, hearing about yourself, not from your perspective, where you... Again, like, oh yeah, the reason that I'm so messed up is because of XYZ reason. People just see that you're messed up. I see people who are like, you ever see someone who's like a really sore loser? Like, I had a girlfriend who, like, no girlfriend stories. We're done with that. I had a pet cat once. She was like 17 when she died. Can you imagine a cat living to, like, human age? Anyway, so moving aside, the point, the thing I was trying to say is, like, if you hear yourself from, like, a past perspective where they don't see your inner thoughts, they just see the annoyingness of living with a slob or whatever else. When you see it from that angle, you're like, oh. Always try to understand your opinion from your critic's point of view. People genuinely, this is, like, irritating to me, because you don't do your side of an argument a service when you think that it's just the only correct side. you know, like, politically speaking, sure, like, okay, you think this. Why do people think the opposite? Is it because those people are bad? Maybe, but that's not useful, right? That doesn't make the world any better. It's just be like, oh, I believe the correct things, some people believe the bad things, and there we go. You know, like, the reason we like to believe in good and evil is because it makes society so much simpler to understand. Like, the complex web of human beings with their own neurotic thought patterns, behaviors, reasons, motivations is so hard to entangle that you just have to sometimes be like, okay, this is how it is. You know, like, I really like 7-Eleven as a business. They give away, you know, 69 cents for a drink of Pepsi. This is Diet Pepsi. It's one of the worst drinks I've had from there. But I can get this amount of Mountain Dew, whatever else. Cookie is still alive, right? Yeah, Cookie's still alive. Coco died recently. That was kind of sad. I struggle sometimes with, obviously, you don't understand me, or you would agree. Right? Like, it's hard to get that people aren't you. And that is dumb, but that's how people are. People are not you. And therefore people think different to you sometimes. Okay, I'm just gonna dig all the way down because it's easier that way. Just get me some ladder. You know, one more ladder down as well, sure. Easy stuff. Hey, okay, we're nice. So, yeah, to kind of finish today, because you know, I have some food. I just realized, like, right now, I was like really hungry and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna find food this late. And I was like, I bought food earlier. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy snacking on that. I wanna, you know, there's so many things I could finish off with, like, you know, it'd probably help you out. But I wanna complain. This is Toy Cat's complaint corner. It's not a very valid complaint because it's such a first world problem. But that's why I want to complain about it to your friends. Because, so there's this place I want to go. It's fairly near to where I am. You physically cannot get there in a Uber or a Lyft. Literally, they will not allow you in. And it's like, okay, that is a problem. Like, they, you know, like, forcing people to have their own cars, sure. Whatever, that's its own problem. But it's also like, okay, so my plan, my genius $5,000 million genius idea is like, okay, you know, you find someone who, you know, who wants to take you there, you know, like maybe I have an assistant who can, your shrinks are listening, you know, and then it's like, oh, but that person hates driving. So really you're just putting someone else through pain to avoid going through something yourself. And then you're like, okay, so if they hate driving, then it's like, okay, what's the solution now? You could go on like, you know, you could get there by some other method, you know, like maybe I could, then it's like, okay, so you could get a driver. Is that a thing? How much? And like, I know, I've dived into a whole bunch of things where it's like, man, sometimes like your third option and your fourth option fail. And you feel like, I feel so, it sometimes feels so hopeless when you're like, okay, I want to, like, this is just a small example of like a thing in America that is just really hard to deal with. But, and you know, no one's going to have any, you don't have to have any sympathy for my particular thing, but it's like, man, I am locked in it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn to drive, and that's what it's take. Cannot learn to drive in America, because if I learn to drive here, even though it's easier here, but it means my license won't be valid in the UK after a certain amount of time. And it's like, oh, damn, so I literally, even the hardest option is not available to me in the next amount of time. If I want to do something before a certain amount of time, I'm out of luck. And there's something about just like, when the third line defense fails, you're just like, oh, sorry, are you in cave update now? I am in cave update. That is what I'm calling this cave. It's beautiful. I hated not having a car so much. Right, it's such a... I'm so... Maybe this is like... Maybe the real privileged situation is being able to live in a world where I didn't need a car. Like, you know, the world is very car dependent. Maybe I'm in such a lucky situation I live somewhere with better public transportation links than anything else. Or at the very least, when it was bad, it was still doable. You know, there's still something there. And then even when that was bad, you could always do everything. But like, America is so built around the car, I'm like, I have to like change. You know, there's this thing. My ideal, you know, my ideal of wanting to take public transport where possible, because it does exist here in Vegas. It just doesn't kind of do what I need it to do. My ideal comes into conflict with what I want to do. And I've always had the terrible, maybe, opinion of like, at that point, you need to work out are you going to break your ideal? Are you going to change your ideal? Or are you going to, you have to break it, you have to change it, or you have to live with the consequences of it. And I wonder if the best thing to do, I guess I'm like, the big life challenge I'm like mentally dealing with is one, how do I do that? And two, like, how do I find a better solution in the temporary? Like, I don't know. It's, I'm dealing with a thing right now. And it's a very hard thing with no real answer. And a lot of unnecessary, I don't want to call it sadness, because again, it's a first world problem. Like, I can't go to a place I really want to go to for my well-being, because I'm fat and I eat so much food, so I want to burn that food off by doing some cool stuff. But anyway, that said, that was too much. I'm a full-time Lyft driver. Where do you want to go? I'm down, says Akodo Kusumoto. You're probably in a different part of the country to me, right? But anyway, no, are you in Las Vegas or Paradise? I live literally in Paradise, Nevada. Like, you can check my tweets if you don't believe me. It's pretty cool, actually. I don't know why I think that's cool, but I do. But yeah, thank you all very much for coming along to my live stream. I'm going to be streaming more. Probably not at this time. I'm really tired, actually. Jesus Christ. Probably not at this time, but if you want to come watch some live streams, I am doing them. Every day. Tomorrow, Super Mario 64. Day after, who knows? But I will see you tomorrow for a sponsored video, actually. In the nutshell, last super chat of the day. It's actually a tip. Thanks, Streamlabs. Thank you.
I've been watching you for a while now, and I really love your videos. I love watching your live streams as well. How excited for Cave Update.
Very excited for Cave Update. I really love your videos, and I love watching your live streams as well. I'm just kidding, but thank you very much, Mr. In the Nutshell. It's wildly appreciated, and I want to just say that you are a nice person. Also, wait, 10. I just realized whenever I see £7.76, my brain doesn't convert to 10. It should. I'm too tired. I'm gonna eat. Do you want to see my food? I spent a lot of money on food, so you want me to flex on you? Also, thank you to Bad Llama. You had the real last super chat. I won't show you my food, actually. There's some asparagus, and asparagus is, like, really easy to do badly, and it's so good when it's done correctly. So I'm going to eat some asparagus, and I think there's some pasta in there, maybe. I'm excited, but I'll eat it off stream. I got incredibly tired all of a sudden. You know how the moment you realize you're tired, you get more tired? That's me right now. But you know what isn't me right now? I